Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I cheated 9 tails at the beginning. I am the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths. Chapter 81. Then, what is that? New jutsu. I have never seen this kind of ninjutsu. Could it be a new ninjutsu developed by Naruto? Seeing Susanoo, everyone in Konoha watching the battle was in an uproar, and they all speculated about Susanoo's truth. However, the expressions of the third generation and other older generation ninjas changed drastically, with expressions of disbelief on their faces. Susanoo. Third generation looked like it had seen a ghost. Why does Naruto use Susanoo? Is he from the Uchiha clan? No, impossible. Naruto is the child of Minato and Kushina, he can't be from the Uchiha clan. The third generation is completely confused. If they are not from the Uchiha clan, why would they use Susanoo? Susanoo. Tendo Pain stared at Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, I didn't expect you to be able to use Susanoo. Tendo looked into Naruto's eyes, and sure enough, they were a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. You and the Uzumaki clan have Rinnegan, so it's normal for me to be able to use Susanoo, right? Naruto stood on Susanoo's head, surrounded by green chakra. Keep fighting. Naruto controlled Susanoo, swung the auger bit in his hand, and stabbed Tendo Pain hard. Shinra Tensei. Tendo raised his right hand. A terrifying repulsive force erupted, and the auger bit that Naruto hit was instantly bounced away. I've been waiting for you. The corners of Naruto's mouth raised slightly. Flying Thunder God technique. Naruto disappeared instantly. The next second, Tendo Pain suddenly appeared behind him, and the auger bit in his hand stabbed out again. Puff. The auger bit suddenly penetrated Tendo Pain's body and beat him to pieces. Shinra Tensei is very powerful. Naruto looked down at Tendo, but the cooling time of 5 seconds is enough to be fatal to me. In a battle between masters, 1 second is very long, let alone 5 seconds. For Naruto, who has the Flying Thunder God, 5 seconds is enough for him to kill Tendo several times. 5 seconds is too long. Uzumaki Naruto, you are indeed powerful. Even though his body was penetrated, Tendo Pain's expression never changed. Shinra Tensei. Boom _ A repulsive force swept across, and Naruto was ejected together with the auger bit in his hand. At this time, a black sphere happened to fly from the horizon. Tendo Planetary Devastation. Tendo Pain clapped his hands. He could no longer subdue Naruto by himself, so he could only use his trump card, Planetary Devastation. An unparalleled and terrifying gravitational force swept out from the black sphere and poured out wantonly on the earth. Rumble. The ground trembled violently. Stones, soil, and buildings were uncontrollably attracted to the black sphere. Click. Rumble. The earth cracked open and rocks shattered. The ground collapsed and rocks floated up. This scene seemed like the end of the world was coming, and everyone in Konoha changed their expressions and showed fear. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Why are the stones flying into the sky? I can't control my body. Pull me up quickly. The gravitational force erupted by Planetary Devastation is truly terrifying. Even everyone in Konoha watching the battle from a distance felt the terrifying suction force. Fortunately, they helped each other and stayed away in time, and no one was sucked into the Planetary Devastation. Naruto is not so lucky. The gravity was strongest where he was, and the terrible traction was tearing his body apart crazily. Naruto was sucked and flew towards the sky, and like countless rocks and soil, he was pulled towards the black ball. I finally used this trick. Naruto shook his head and activated the Flying Thunder God technique, disappearing without a trace. Tendo was completely dumbfounded. Planetary Devastation is the strongest attack he can currently unleash, capable of sealing any tailed beast. But Naruto disappeared. How to do this? Tendo was a little crazy. The Flying Thunder God technique is so disgusting, why is there such a ninjutsu? Are you looking for me? Naruto's voice sounded from behind, and Tendo suddenly turned his head and met a pair of blood-red eyes. Blood-colored pupils, triangular pinwheel shape. It's none other than Itachi's Mangekyo. Tsukuyomi. Naruto glared with his left eye. Tendo froze and stood there blankly. It seems your Rinnegan is not immune to illusions. Naruto smiled lightly and activated Crystal Style, directly turning Tendo into a crystal sculpture. Naruto gave a gentle push and the crystal sculpture fell to the ground with a click and shattered into pieces. God's way. Death. Won. We won. Long live Naruto. Naruto. He did it. He really defeated pain and protected the village. Naruto, you are doing well. Naruto is already so strong. The gap between us and him is getting wider and wider. Seeing the death of Tendo, everyone in Konoha was very happy and excited. This invasion was too sudden and too difficult. Throughout the 60-year history of Konoha, this attack can be regarded as the most tragic and dangerous one. Fortunately, they won after all, and it's all thanks to Naruto. For a time, everyone looked at Naruto with gratitude in their eyes. With the death of Tendo, Planetary Devastation lost control, stopped attracting everything on the ground, and fell towards the ground. At this time, the Planetary Devastation, although not astonishing, was still quite large. If this hits the ground, it will be like a meteorite falling to the ground, and the destructive power it will unleash will definitely be beyond imagination. Naruto naturally did not allow such a thing to happen, and decisively used the strongest method. Sage Art Wood Style True Several Thousand Hands. Although Naruto also has Susanoo, his strongest attack method currently is Wood Style. Sage Body plus Sage Mode plus Wood Style, the destructive power it can unleash is beyond Susanoo. Susanoo, only by opening the Eternal Mangekyo and training the eye power to ultimate can one reach the strongest state. Naruto wasn't even close yet. Rumble. As the chakra in Naruto's body poured into the earth crazily, a giant Buddha sculpture with thousands of giant arms and nearly 100 meters high rose up from the ground. It was majestic and comparable to a small mountain. This is. Everyone was dumbfounded, staring blankly at the majestic and huge Buddha sculpture, and collectively lost their voice. Become a Buddha on top. Naruto shouted loudly, and the Senju Buddha suddenly stood up, raised his fist, and smashed at the Planetary Devastation crazily. The dense fists formed airtight raindrops, pouring on the meteorites formed by Planetary Devastation. Each fist can erupt with terrible destructive power. 1,000 fists added together can destroy the world. Boom! The meteorite was smashed into powder and turned into countless pieces of gravel and dust. So awesome. Is that human being? Is this really a power that humans can have? It feels like we are not in the same dimension at all. Incredible. Naruto has actually grown to this point. He should be no worse than the first generation now, right? It's really too strong. Everyone in Konoha was extremely shocked. The scene just now was like a dream to them. True Several Thousand Hands is indeed the strongest wood-style ninjutsu. Naruto took 2 deep breaths. The Ashura chakra was drained from my body in one fell swoop. This kind of cool ninjutsu will no longer be used in the future. My little arms and legs really can't bear it. Naruto took a short rest, Kagura's inner eye activated, and soon sensed Nagato's location. It's time to meet Nagato. Naruto activated the super light heavy rock technique, and his body rose into the air, flying towards where Nagato was. Kurama, how about the true several thousand hands move I just made? How does it compare to first generation? There is still a big gap. Kurama said. The giant Buddha summoned by Hashirama is taller than the mountain peak, and one hand is bigger than mine. The true several thousand hands you just had are not much bigger than me, but they are still very powerful. At your growth rate, old man, you can catch up with Senju Hashirama in 1 year at most. Quote. While Naruto and Nine Tails were chatting, they came to the paper tree where Nagato and Konan were hiding. This paper tree is composed of Konan's paper release, with a hollow interior, where Nagato and Konan are hiding. Naruto tore out a big hole and walked straight in. Konan tensed up and was about to control the paper to launch an attack, but was stopped by Nagato. Konan, stop, you are no match for him. Nagato is very weak, skinny and gaunt, and the Uzumaki clan's iconic red hair has lost its luster. You came. Nagato stared at Naruto. I am coming. Naruto also looked at Nagato. You must hate me very much, right? Your enemy is right in front of you, so you must really want to take revenge. Nagato stared at Naruto, as if questioning, but also murmuring, the chain of hatred has begun, you can kill me now, you are stronger than I thought. Hatred. Naruto suddenly laughed. Actually not. Nagato and Konan were startled at the same time. You don't hate me. Nagato frowned at Naruto. I don't hate it. I even have some sympathy. Naruto shook his head and said, Nagato, actually I know everything about you, Konan, and Yahiko. Nagato and Konan were both a little stunned. You are orphans who were born in the flames of war. You have been through war and experienced the pain of death of relatives and friends. Naruto sighed. To be honest, I live in a peaceful age, so I don't really feel the same way. But I can understand your pain, and I also understand your good wishes for the pursuit of peace. After all, no one wants to live in a world with year-round wars and free gunfire. Uzumaki Naruto, you really know me very well. Nagato whispered. Since you understand me, you should sacrifice for peace and come out of Nine Tails. Nagato, I came today just to talk to you. It's meaningless if you say that. Naruto snorted. Do you really think that creating a tailed beast weapon with the power to destroy a country in an instant can bring about real peace? You are too naive. Nagato's face darkened. What do you mean? I tell you, as long as humans exist, there can be no real peace in this world. Naruto shrugged. Everyone is an independent individual with independent thoughts and desires. Human desire is the source of social progress and the instinct of all living things. Just like sheep want to eat grass and tigers want to eat sheep, all living creatures have this instinct. Where there are desires, there are bound to be disputes. Therefore, if you want to achieve true peace, you must eliminate human desires. But once desires are eliminated, are people still people? Everyone has no desires and needs. They lie in bed every day eating and waiting to die. Who in the world is going to work? Who will grow food? Who will make clothes? Who will raise livestock? Are you making the tailed beast weapons? Once desire is eliminated, human society will stop moving forward, and humans will eventually perish. It can be seen that as long as there are people, there will be disputes, unless you eliminate all mankind and let mankind disappear. Nagato was stunned. Secondly, you think that by creating tailed beast weapons, you can intimidate all countries and achieve true peace. Naruto looked at Nagato. Let me ask you, after the tailed beast weapon is manufactured, who will control it? You. Can you guarantee that after you own a tailed beast weapon, you can maintain your original intention and not abuse the tailed beast weapon? Even if you can guarantee it, what happens after you die? Who will be in charge of the tailed beast weapons after you die? Can you guarantee that your successor will maintain your original intention and not abuse tailed beast weapons like you? Nagato was completely silent. He was bewitched by Obito and thought that as long as he collected tailed beasts and made tailed beast weapons, he could bring true peace. Now I suddenly realize that I am a little naive. Tailed beast weapons cannot buy real peace, and even the tailed beast weapons themselves are the source of trouble. You obviously can't guarantee that. Naruto shrugged. The more powerful the tailed beast weapons you make, the faster humanity will be destroyed. Is there no real peace? Nagato looked confused and his values had collapsed. No, Naruto shook his head. Even if you destroy all the ninja villages and kill all the ninjas. Even if the chakra practice system is completely cut off and only ordinary people are left, there will be no real peace. As long as there is someone, even primitive people, even ancient people in the cold weapon era, will have a fighting career. There is no real peace, only relative peace that conforms to a certain order and rules. Nagato was obviously shaken. He was stunned in place, speechless for a long time. Konan couldn't help but ask, Is there really no way to achieve peace? Although there is no absolute peace, this does not prevent the realization of peace in the ninja world. Naruto said with a smile. What does this mean? Since there is no absolute peace, how can we achieve peace in the ninja world? Nagato didn't know why. Nagato, let me ask you. Naruto asked instead. Why do wars and conflicts break out in this world? Of course it's because of the contradiction. Nagato said in a deep voice. Conflicts arise between countries and between villages for some reason. And if the conflict is not resolved well, it may eventually turn into a violent conflict or even a war. You are right. The contradictions caused by double anti-counterfeiting policies may eventually turn into war. Naruto smiled and said, so as long as the contradiction is resolved, war can be avoided. Do you agree with this statement? Nagato nodded silently, but the conflict is not easy to resolve. The uneven distribution of interests, the amount of resources, the ambition of some people, will make the conflict very difficult to resolve. Conflicts are indeed difficult to resolve. Naruto smiled and said, but conflicts can be transferred. Transfer conflicts. Nagato was slightly startled. How do you understand this? It's very simple. Move away the conflicts between countries and the conflicts between villages. Naruto explained. For example, when an enemy appears in the ninja world that can destroy the world, the major countries and ninja villages will definitely put aside their conflicts and unite with each other to deal with this enemy together. And in the process of joining forces, we help each other, fight together, and get to know each other. As time goes by, the bond deepens and we all become comrades in arms, even friends. This is the transfer of contradictions. Transfer internal conflicts to the outside and reach mutual reconciliation while fighting against external enemies. The conflict transfer you mentioned does make some sense, but it's just your imagination. Spear shook his head. The 5 major ninja villages have been grudges for a long time. It would be nice not to fight. How can we join forces? What if there really is an enemy who wants to destroy the ninja world? Naruto asked with a smile. Nagato was silent for a moment and said, in this case, it is indeed possible for the 5 major ninja villages to join forces. Let me show you something and you will understand after reading it. Naruto smiled faintly. His eyes suddenly turned into Itachi's Mangekyo, and launched Tsukuyomi towards Nagato's. Nagato was pulled directly into the world of Tsukuyomi, and then saw a scene that he could not imagine. The 4th Ninja War, Ninja Alliance, 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Madara's Resurrection, Otsutsuki Kagaya, Otsutsuki Clan. Nagato froze in place, speechless for a long time. He was stunned, his eyes were distracted and lifeless. The future will actually be like this. Nagato murmured to himself, with cold sweat rolling on his forehead. The eye of the moon actually. Nagato. Seeing Nagato's lost look, Konan couldn't help but become nervous. What's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Nagato didn't seem to hear and didn't respond to Konan. He seemed to be going crazy. Konan glared at Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, what on earth did you do to Nagato? Didn't do anything, just told him the truth about everything. Naruto said with a smile. The truth. Konan was confused. After being silent for a long time, Nagato finally came back to his senses and his eyes became extremely complicated. Uzumaki Naruto, maybe you were right. There is really no absolute peace in this world, but conflicts can be transferred and peace in the ninja world can be achieved. After knowing what happened in the future, Nagato knew that his tailed beast weapon plan was a joke. 10 Tails, Obito, Uchiha Madara, Otsutsuki Kagaya, the Otsutsuki clan one after another. What is the use of tailed beast weapons in front of these dangerous people who can easily destroy ninjas and overthrow the ninja world? It's just food for these people to become stronger. In addition, just as Naruto said, in the face of these dangerous people, the major ninja villages will definitely join forces. In the process of fighting against foreign enemies, everyone cooperates with each other, understands each other, and deepens the bond. Over time, they can indeed understand each other, no longer resort to force, and achieve relative peace in the ninja world. It's a pity that I can't wait for that day. Nagato sighed. Naruto, although I don't know why you know the future. But I hope you can protect this world and the peace of the ninja world as I see it. I will. Naruto nodded slightly. Thanks. Nagato slowly formed seals with his hands, and his voice was trembling and hoarse. Heretic Rinne Tensai technique. Konan's expression suddenly changed. Nagato, you. Konan, don't stop me. I took the wrong path before, but I have found a new choice. You have to be happy for me, not sad. Nagato smiled and activated the Rinne Tensai technique. Konan lost consciousness for a moment. She knew very well that with Nagato's current chakra, he would definitely die if he used the Rinne Tensai technique. What Konan couldn't understand was what Naruto showed Nagato that actually changed Nagato's mind. This puzzled her very much. After using the Rinne Tensai technique, the remaining chakra in Nagato's body was completely drained. After I invaded, everyone who was killed in Konoha should have been resurrected. This can be considered a bit of compensation. And my eyes. Nagato gasped. When I die, I hope you can take away these eyes and don't leave them to them. Nagato refers to Obito and Madara. He already knows all the truth and does not want to leave Rinnegan to those two people. Thanks, Naruto whispered. And Konan. Nagato looked at Konan again and asked, Konan, after I die, you can follow Naruto. For me, for Yahiko, for true peace, live well. For me and Yahiko, look at the future world, look at real peace, I really want to see that day. Nagato. Tears welled up in Konan's eyes, his voice was sad, and his eyes contained endless sadness. She has been dependent on Nagato and Yahiko since she was a child, struggling to survive in the war. Nagato and Yahiko are everything to Konan. Yahiko is dead, and she still has Nagato. Now that even Nagato is dead, Konan feels that life has completely lost its meaning and has no motivation to live. It's not difficult if you want to take a look. Naruto said, when you die, I will reincarnate you into the impure world, and you can still stay in this world. Impure world reincarnation. Nagato moved his lips and agreed, thank you. Nagato has no nostalgia for life, but he does want to see the future world and see true peace. Impure world reincarnation may be a solution. Thinking of being able to visit the future, Nagato lost all regrets. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth and he slowly closed his eyes. He died. This villain who grew up lonely and was eventually bewitched to embark on the path of extreme peace is finally dead. Naruto couldn't be happier, even a little sad. Nagato. Konan burst into tears. Sister Nan, don't be sad. Naruto couldn't help but said with relief, find a way to impure world reincarnation first, maybe there will be hope for resurrection in the future. Real. Konan looked at Naruto with tears in his eyes. I know at least 2 ninjutsu that can resurrect the dead. Naruto sighed. One is Rinne Tensai technique, and the other is reincarnated. The Rinne Tensai technique requires a Rinnegan to activate, but it does not need to be reincarnated. This forbidden technique can give life to puppets, and naturally it can also bring people back to life. Naruto can't say whether it will succeed or not, it still needs to be tested, but let's give Konan a hope first. A ninjutsu that can bring people back to life must cost a lot, right? Konan said. Reincarnation is a resurrection spell that changes one's life into a name. Once activated, the caster will die. Naruto nodded slightly. But I know a very perfect spell caster, and that is White Zetsu. In Naruto's opinion, White Zetsu is the perfect candidate to initiate reincarnation. The vitality is strong enough and the number is large enough, but the will is also very fragile and easy to control. It's so appropriate to let White Zetsu perform reincarnation. If the impure world reincarnation can be resurrected through this method, many people can be resurrected. First generation, second generation, Namikaze Minato, Kushina. Naruto felt compelled to try. White Zetsu. Konan suddenly became enlightened and looked at Naruto excitedly. Thank you, Uzumaki Naruto. Thank you very much. Naruto waved his hand. Take Nagato's body away first. As Naruto was talking, an Uzumaki suddenly appeared above Nagato and rolled Nagato's body into it. Naruto's expression changed suddenly, but it was too late to stop him. Obito, wearing the Uzumaki mask, stands where Nagato stood before, revealing a Sharingan. Uzumaki Naruto, I admit that I look down on you a little. I'm curious, why do you have a Sharingan? And a Mangekyo Sharingan? During Nagato's invasion, Obito and Zetsu followed, and they have been hiding in the dark and watching the battle silently. They witnessed the entire battle of Naruto's Nagato. Naruto's fighting prowess made Obito feel incredible, just wood style. It's incredible that Naruto even has a Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto is obviously not from the Uchiha clan. We finally meet, Obito. Naruto looked directly into Obito's eyes and smiled. I've been in love with you for a long time. Hash plus or minus. Obito's whole body was shocked, and Sharingan stared at Naruto. I don't understand what you are talking about. Then just think I'm talking nonsense. Naruto smiled slightly, but his eyes suddenly turned into Mangekyo and activated distinguished heavenly gods. Uzumaki Naruto, don't waste your time, I've been guarding against you for a long time. Obito's body hollowed instantly, and his voice continued to echo in the tree hole. Next time we meet, I will completely capture you. At this point, Obito completely disappeared. Leave Nagato's body behind. Konan was furious and shouted to stop him, but got no response. Obito had already left. Kamui, it's so disgusting. Naruto couldn't help but cursed secretly, looked at the angry Konan and said, he has gone far, come back to Konoha with me first. I want to go back to Rain Shinobi Village. Konan whispered. That's my home. Go back there now, Obito won't let you go, and don't even think about killing him, it's impossible. Naruto shook his head. This guy has a Sharingan, which can activate Izanagi and reverse life and death. Even if you have 600 billion detonating symbols and continue bombing for 10 minutes, you still can't kill him. Konan was finally convinced and planned to abide by Nagato's last wish and stay with Naruto. Naruto took her back to Konoha and received a grand welcome from everyone in Konoha. Finally home. Naruto, I believe you will come back. Naruto, welcome back. Thank you, Naruto. Thank you for saving us. Naruto, you are the hero who saves the village. People cheered and shouted, raising their arms and shouting. The cheers were earth-shaking and deafening, as if even the sky was about to overturn. From the third generation, Kakashi, down to every ordinary villager, they were all extremely grateful and looked at Naruto with admiration. At this moment, Naruto became a hero. Naruto, welcome home. Kakashi looked at Naruto with relief. You defeated Pain and saved the village, you did it. Naruto, it's really you. You are the only one taking the limelight. It makes us look like useless people. Shikamaru punched Naruto in the chest and said with a smile, but thank you for saving us all. Naruto, you are so prosperous now. Ya looked envious and said, speaking of which, I am so envious and jealous that I even let you pretend. Naruto brother, you are so awesome. Konohamaru clenched his fists, his face full of admiration. I will follow your example and practice well. When I grow up, I will protect the village like you and become a hero. Konohamaru has always admired Naruto, before, and even more so now. He wanted to worship Naruto as his teacher on the spot. Naruto. Everyone surrounded Naruto, chattering and expressing their gratitude and admiration. Hinata looked at Naruto silently, with tears in the corners of her eyes shining with admiration, excitement, and admiration. After Naruto said hello to everyone, he walked slowly to Hinata and smiled, I'm back. Naruto. Hinata could no longer suppress her inner emotions and threw herself into Naruto's arms, crying excitedly. Naruto said nothing and held her silently. Hyuga Hiyashi and Hyuga Hanabi stood in the crowd, looking at Naruto and Hinata, their eyes flashing with excitement. Hanabi, in particular, looked at Naruto with admiration. Brother-in-law, he is a hero. The welcoming ceremony, organized voluntarily by the villagers, lasted for more than an hour before gradually dispersing. Later, Naruto, Hinata, and Kakashi came to the ninja hospital to visit Tsunade. In order to save the villagers, Tsunade summoned Katsuyu and overused chakra, causing him to fall into coma. In this situation, the medical ninjas were helpless. But that didn't bother Naruto. He injected the Ashura chakra from his body into Tsunade and quickly cured Tsunade. Ashura chakra contains huge vitality and is a healing elixir. Don't take it easy when treating Tsunade. Tsunade's awakening also brought Konoha's management system back to normal and order became orderly. Konoha village has become a ruin. The village needs to be rebuilt and the villagers need to be resettled. At this time, real estate developer Yamato finally came in handy, and Technique, a 3-bedroom, 2-living house, shined. In order to speed up the construction, Naruto also sent 100 Shadow Clone to invest in the construction of the village. Others also took action, and various post-disaster reconstruction projects began quickly and in full swing. Naruto preferred peace and quiet, so he simply built a house in the forest next to the village and lived here from now on. 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms technique is really useful. Naruto sighed in admiration and built a house next door and gave it to Konan. The appearance of Konan caused quite a commotion. After all, she was a member of the Akatsuki organization, and she had just teamed up with Pain to destroy Konoha. She was an outright enemy. Of course everyone didn't welcome her. Naruto didn't explain too much, just said, I used distinguished heavenly gods to change her will, and she will be one of my own from now on. Of course this was an argument made up by Naruto, but it was so effective that the 3rd generation and others stopped talking immediately. In their view, Konan is no longer an enemy, but his will can be changed by the distinguished heavenly gods, and he will never betray Naruto again. However, ordinary villagers still didn't welcome her, and Naruto simply let her live in the forest, away from everyone. Time passed, and a few days passed in the blink of an eye. Early that morning, Naruto drew the lottery as usual. After not drawing anything good for several days in a row, Naruto thought today was another ordinary day. It turned out to be Admiral Ding winning the lottery. The lottery was successful. Congratulations to host for winning Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke. Holy shit. Naruto jumped up from the bed and almost hit the ceiling, making a hole in the ceiling. Eternal Mangekyo. Naruto was very excited. I finally drew the Eternal Mangekyo. I am really possessed by the European Emperor today. Before today, Naruto owned a total of 2 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi's and Shisui's. But Mangekyo Sharingan is a consumable item. Every time you use it, you are closer to losing your light. Therefore, Naruto did not dare to use it more, rarely used it in actual battles, and did not train much at ordinary times. Just afraid of going blind. But today, Naruto finally drew the Eternal Mangekyo. Merge. After the fusion ended, Naruto clearly felt the changes. The eye power of Eternal Mangekyo is much stronger than that of ordinary Mangekyo, it is not on the same level at all. This difference in pupil power is real and can be clearly felt, for money. Like 30 degrees and 100 degrees water. On the surface, there is no difference, but when you touch it, you can clearly feel the difference between the two. Naruto came to the mirror and opened the Eternal Mangekyo. Exactly the same as the 2-pillar Eternal Mangekyo, it consists of a 6-pointed star Mangekyo plus a triangular windmill Mangekyo. This eye power is not just a little bit stronger than the ordinary Mangekyo, it is much stronger. Naruto sighed in admiration, activated the Flying Thunder God technique and came to the wilderness far away from Konoha. Amaterasu. Inferno-style flame control. Susanoo. After some use, the side effects of Eternal Mangekyo are indeed very small, much smaller than those of using Mangekyo. Moreover, it is easier to turn on Susanoo, which puts less burden on the body and is more powerful. The Eternal Mangekyo really crushed the ordinary Mangekyo in all aspects. Naruto was sincerely happy. The only thing that makes him a little dissatisfied is that he can't open the complete Susanoo yet. Although it is close to complete, it is still not the complete Susanoo, it is just a little bit missing. Naruto attributed this to not enough exercise. Under normal circumstances, to open the complete Susanoo, 3 conditions must be met. First, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. This is understandable and there is nothing to say. A Susanoo without eyes like Kakashi can only be regarded as an example and cannot be used for discussion. Second, you must have a huge amount of chakra. Complete body Susanoo is very big, almost as big as a mountain. To maintain Susanoo on this scale, the consumption of chakra is extremely exaggerated. Without enough chakra, you can't play at all. Finally, you must use your own pupil power to the ultimate level. To unlock the full body of Susanoo, you need to practice continuously and hone your eye power before you can unleash it. I have already met the first 2 conditions. All I need to do next is to keep practicing and hone my eye power. Naruto is not afraid of practice. Eternal Mangekyo is not blind anyway, so he can practice however he wants. The 4th Ninja War is about to break out, hurry up and practice, and activate the full body of Susan as soon as possible. After obtaining the Eternal Mangekyo, Naruto added Mangekyo practice to his daily training schedule. I used to be afraid of blindness and didn't dare to practice, but now I can practice openly. Ever since, Naruto exercises Susanoo in the morning and exercises his pupils. Refining Ashura Chakra and exercising Sage Body in the afternoon. The cultivation of Immortal Eyes and Sage Body go hand in hand and neither one falls behind. Evenings are generally free. Sometimes when Jiraiya came back, Naruto would accompany Jiraiya to soak in hot springs, collect materials, and play around. If Hinata comes back from a mission, stay with Hinata. Naruto also took the time to go to Hyuga's house and have dinner with Hinata's family. Hyuga Hiyashi's attitude towards Naruto was completely different from the first time they met, he was very enthusiastic. Hanabi speaks like a brother-in-law, and his name is very smooth. Sometimes I get together with other Shaoqiang to eat barbecue and ramen, which is fulfilling and comfortable. As time goes by, Naruto becomes more and more skilled in using Susanoo, and the Sage Body becomes more and more powerful. On the 6th and 21st days of drawing Eternal Mangekyo, Naruto drew 2-tailed beast chakra respectively. 2 tails Matabi, 4 tails Sun Wukong. Counting the 1 tail and 6 tails drawn previously, Naruto has drawn 4-tailed beast chakra. Naruto sealed the 2 tails and 4 tails into the Geto statue, dug a palace under the forest outside Konoha village, and hid the Geto statue inside. After all, the Kingdom of Wind was too far away from Konoha. Naruto was worried that the Geto statue would be stolen, so he hid it close to him. Naruto didn't dare to underestimate the thieves in the Hokage world. For a guy like Kabuto, you have to be on guard against him, but he might suddenly appear and give you a surprise. It's safer to keep it by your side. A month passed in the blink of an eye. That afternoon, Naruto was refining Ashura chakra in the forest, and was called over by Tsunade again. Sister Tsunade, is something wrong? Naruto walked into Hokage's office. Problem occurs. Tsunade sighed. Sasuke led people to attack 8 Tails Jinchuriki and captured 8 Tails. Tsunade slapped the table. Reikage was furious and proposed a 5-Kage meeting to discuss jointly dealing with the Akatsuki organization. Sure enough, it still happened. Naruto sighed slightly. Tsunade raised his eyebrows and asked coldly, "Did you know in advance that this would happen?" "You can guess it." Naruto shrugged. After Sasuke kills Itachi, he will be seduced by the Akatsuki organization and join the Akatsuki organization. And I estimate that Sasuke probably already knows the truth about Itachi and Uchiha's genocide. Naruto shook his head and said, "Maybe he hates Konoha very much now and wants to destroy Konoha." Tsunade gritted his teeth. "If I had known today, I should have kept him when he defected." "There's no point saying this now." Naruto waved his hand, not wanting to continue talking about this topic, and said, "Sister, where will the 5 Shadows Conference be held? When are you going to leave?" "The location is in the Land of Iron," Tsunade said. "The Kingdom of Iron is a neutral country and a country guarded by warriors. It is in the interest of all parties. If there's time, let's do it tomorrow." Having said this, Tsunade looked at Naruto and said, "For this meeting, each cage can bring 2 guards. I decided to take you and Kakashi, is that okay?" "I'm okay," Naruto agreed. He happened to want to go to the 5 Shadows Conference and see the world. "Then go back and prepare well, and we will officially set off tomorrow morning." Tsunade acted vigorously. Naruto walked out of the Hokage building and found Shikamaru, Choji, Hinata and others standing outside. Except for Sasuke, all the other 10 have arrived. "Why did you get so many people together today?" Naruto said with a smile. "Naruto, that's what the other side said." Everyone led Naruto to the corner. Shikamaru got straight to the point and said, "Naruto, do you know that Sasuke joined Akatsuki and captured the 8 Tails Jinchuriki?" "I just heard the Hokage talk about it." Naruto nodded and asked doubtfully, "How do you know?" "You have sharp ears. Ino's father works in the intelligence service." Shikamaru explained briefly and said, "Sasuke has completely fallen now. What are you going to do?" Hinata, Sakura-chan, Choji, Lee, Neji and others also looked at Naruto, wanting to hear his opinion. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked instead without answering. Everyone looked at each other in total silence. It was Shikamaru who took the initiative and said, "Sasuke is our contemporary and our friend. He has now fallen to this point, and those of us at the same time have an unshakable responsibility. So," Shikamaru sighed and said with difficulty, "after careful consideration, we decided to kill him." "Naruto, you also said that Akatsuki's purpose of capturing the tailed beasts is to resurrect 10 tails." Neji sighed. "And Sasuke was willing to be Akatsuki's eagle dog, and even captured 8 tails. This kind of behavior has seriously threatened the village. And it's hard to imagine that he will do anything that threatens the village in the future. The best thing to do is to kill him. You are his best friend, so you should make a decision early." Naruto nodded, looked at the others, and asked, "Are you in the same mood?" Choji, Xiao Li, Tien nodded in unison. Ino looked sad. Little Sakura cried silently. Hinata hugged Naruto's arm tightly and did not express any opinion, but showed with her actions that she listened to Naruto in everything. "Just leave it alone, Sasuke, leave it to me, CHDI." Naruto smiled lightly. If he really can't turn back, he can still use distinguished heavenly gods to deal with him. Distinguished heavenly gods. When everyone heard this, their eyes couldn't help but light up. Because he had to go to the land of iron, Naruto got up early the next morning. Draw the lottery first. The first thing he did when he got up every day was to draw a lottery. Naruto had made it a habit, and today was no exception. Ding! Winning the lottery. The lottery was successful. Congratulations to the host for winning the 5 Tails Kokuo chakra. Tisk! I drew the tailed beast chakra again. Naruto was happy. The frequency of drawing tailed beast chakra is slightly higher recently. Not bad, not bad. Naruto murmured, activated the Flying Thunder God technique to the underground palace, and sealed the 5 Tails chakra. Seal. With Naruto's thoughts, Geto statue spit out a chain from his mouth and pulled the 5 Tails chakra into the golem. 6 paths old man, this is the 5th tailed beast chakra, and now there are only 4 left. 9 Tails' voice sounded. As long as we get 3 tails, 7 tails, 8 tails in my chakra, we will succeed. Yeah, it's almost successful. Naruto was also very excited. There are 9 tailed beasts chakra in total. He has already drawn 5, and only 4 are left. We are really close to successfully resurrecting 10 tails. Naruto looked at the Geto statue for a while, leaving a few wood clone to guard the place, and returned to the room. It turned out that Hinata was at home, tidying up his bedding, and there was a hot breakfast on the dining table. Hinata, you're here. Naruto hugged Hinata from behind and kissed her on the face. Hinata's body was very soft and milky. Since the two established their relationship, Hinata has come to the house to help him clean up the housework. Cleaning, washing pots and dishes, washing clothes, even socks, underwear, sheets, and quilt covers are all done by Hinata. Hinata is also responsible for Naruto's 3 meals a day. Hinata is a very virtuous family member who keeps the house in order and takes good care of Naruto. Although the two are not married yet, Hinata is already doing the job of a wife. Hinata's delicate body trembled. When she found out it was Naruto, she turned around obediently and hugged his waist. Where have you been? Walked around. Naruto kissed the beauty on the face. Why did you come here so early? You and Tsunade-sama are going to the Kingdom of Iron today, so I have to see you off. Hinata said softly. You must take good care of yourself after you go out, and you must eat well. That's right. The climate of the Iron Kingdom is cold and it snows all year round. Bring more clothes when you go. Will do. Naruto looked at Hinata and liked her more and more. He couldn't help but kiss Hinata and taste Hinata's red lips. Hinata's delicate body trembled. Her face was quietly covered with blush, but she didn't resist and allowed Naruto to ask for a kiss. She would never say no to Naruto, no matter what. The two were bored for a while, until Anbu knocked on the door and ended reluctantly. Konoha village entrance. Many people came to see him off. First of all, there are people from the Hyuga clan such as Hinata, Hanabi, Hiyashi, and Neji. Naruto is the hero of Konoha, and in the eyes of the Hyuga clan, he is also Hyuga's son-in-law. Therefore, the Hyuga clan is now Naruto's staunchest supporter, and Naruto follows his lead. Naruto is going to accompany Hokage to attend the 5 Shadows Conference. This is a very important matter. Of course, the Hyuga family will come to see him off. Secondly, there are the top 10 of Konoha, all of them are here. In addition, 3rd generation, Mitokado Homura, Udatane Kaharu also came. Finally, Asuma, Red, Might Guy and other Jonin came to see them off. Different from the original plot, when Danzo attended the 5 Shadows Conference, it was deserted and no one saw him off. Tsunade attended the 5 Kage Conference this time, and there were many more people sending him off, and they were much more enthusiastic. There is really no comparison between people. Naruto, you must protect Lord Hokage. Kakashi, you are my lifelong rival, the Hokage-sama will be left to you in Naruto. Naruto, everyone, go back. Tsunade waved to everyone. Today Tsunade is a bit dashing, holding a Hokage hat in hand and wearing a white Hokage robe, looking dashing. Naruto and Kakashi lined up on either side of Tsunade and looked at everyone with smiles. The atmosphere was very peaceful. 3rd Hokage. Suddenly, a cold roar came from above the head, like a thunderous explosion, spreading throughout the whole village. Everyone was stunned and looked at the sky. A giant eagle flew from a distance and came close in the blink of an eye. Shua. 4 figures descended from the sky and landed in the open space not far from the village entrance, staring at everyone in Konoha. The black coat with the red cloud pattern is exactly Akatsuki's clothing. Sasuke. Little Sakura screamed. It's Sasuke. Why is he back? Didn't you defect? The visitor is none other than the Eagle Squad led by the Condor hero Uchiha Sasuke. 2 pillars, Xianglin, Chongwu, Shuiyu and 4 others. The 2 pillars stared coldly at third generation, Mito Gate and Tenka Kaharu, the 3 former high-level officials of Konoha. Xianglin put his hands on his hips and looked arrogant, Zongwu had an expressionless face, and Shuiyu raised the corner of his mouth with a hint of a smirk. Sasuke, little Sakura and Ino rushed up. Stop. Tsunade waved his hand to stop them, and asked in a cold voice, Sasuke, what are you doing back here? Everyone stared at Sasuke with hostility and hatred on their faces. Hate and fear. Sasuke ignored Tsunade and stared at third generation with sharp eyes. Let me ask you, third generation. Did the top brass of Konoha, including you, order Uchiha Itachi to destroy the Uchiha clan? As soon as these words came out, third generation, Homura and Kaharu all changed their expressions and looked at Sasuke in disbelief. Sasuke knows the truth. Others looked astonished. What is Sasuke talking about? Why can't I understand? That's nonsense. The Uchiha clan was clearly wiped out by that traitor. Does it have anything to do with Mr. Third Generation? The Uchiha gang has traitor elements in their bones. Uchiha Itachi is like this, Uchiha Sasuke is like this too. The most ironic thing is that the whole family was exterminated by traitors. It's a good thing that the clan was exterminated early. Sasuke's words were so unbelievable that everyone sneered at them. Instead, they became sarcastic. Such ridicule adds fuel to the fire. The hatred for Konoha that Sasuke already had in his heart reached the point of madness. Itachi was willing to destroy his own family, and was willing to bear the charge of betraying ninja, but also wanted to protect Konoha and the group of people in front of him, but what about them? They wantonly slandered his brother. The hatred in Sasuke's heart was overwhelming, the killing intent in his eyes almost solidified, and his voice was cold and bone-chilling. Third generation, let me ask you again, did you 3 order Itachi to destroy the Uchiha clan? Shut up, you traitor, Uchiha Kaharu shouted sternly. How dare you talk nonsense and spread rumors here to cause trouble? Come on, come on. Can't let Sasuke talk anymore. Uchiha Kaharu knew very well that once the truth about the Uchiha genocide was exposed, the 3 of them would be disgraced. After all, no matter how restless the Uchiha clan is, they are still the founders of Konoha and a part of Konoha. Regardless of any reason, the entire Uchiha clan cannot be completely destroyed or uprooted. After all, the vast majority of the members of the Uchiha clan are old, weak, women and children. Some of them are even meritorious old men of Konoha who have made great contributions to Konoha. Even if the Uchiha clan wants to launch a coup and seize power with armed force, they cannot kill the elderly and children together. Too cruel. If this kind of thing is exposed, what will other ninjas think? Everyone will inevitably feel sad that the rabbit is dead and the fox is dead. By that time, their majesty will be gone. Yes, Lord Kaharu. 2 ninjas from the sleeping clan immediately jumped out, trying to subdue Sasuke and shut him up. The Transfer Bed clan is also one of the Konoha Shinobi clan. In recent years, with the support of Uchiha Kaharu, the Transfer family has been developing smoothly, and the family has grown in size. Get out of my way. Purple chakra rose up from Sasuke's body, condensed into a big skeletal hand, and slapped the 2 men fiercely. Boom. Caught off guard, the 2 ninjas from the sleeping clan were directly shot away, and their blood was sprayed. There was a commotion in the whole place. Everyone stared at the big skeletal hand on Sasuke's body and couldn't help but exclaimed. Since Pain's invasion and Naruto's strong defeat of Pain, the ninjutsu used by Naruto during the battle has been talked about by everyone. Among them, Susanoo and Wood Style are the most discussed. With extensive discussion, everyone also understands what Susanoo is and what kind of power it is. Now seeing Sasuke use Susanoo, the In family recognized it at a glance. Susanoo. Sasuke also turned on the Mangekyo Sharingan. Everyone quickly looked into Sasuke's eyes, and sure enough, it was indeed Mangekyo Sharingan. Everyone couldn't help but feel shocked. Sasuke also had this kind of power. How could he resist it? Sasuke, if you have something to say, don't hurt anyone. Kakashi shouted hurriedly. He was doing this for Sasuke's own good, and didn't want his former disciple to become too enmity with the village. That would be completely impossible to resolve. Sasuke didn't even look at Kakashi, always staring at the third generation. Third generation, let me ask you one last time, did you give the order for Itachi to destroy the Uchiha clan? Third generation sighed and smiled bitterly. Sasuke, it seems you know everything. What does this mean? Everyone's heart suddenly wondered, could it be? Sarutobi, Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura wanted to stop them, but were interrupted by third generation. Are you still going to hide it now? Itachi has been carrying this injustice for too long. The third generation sighed and said slowly, you are right. Not only did I order Itachi to kill his compatriots with his own hands and accuse him of being a traitor, I also asked him to monitor Akatsuki alone. That's right. The reason why the Uchiha clan was exterminated back then was indeed the order given by me, the third Hokage. Wow. The words of third generation were like a thunder that exploded in everyone's hearts, making everyone's brains buzz. Looking at the entire Konoha, there are no more than 5 people who know the truth about the Uchiha genocide. Initially only the third generation, Danzo, Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura knew about it, and later Tsunade also knew about it. Other than that, no one in Konoha knew anything. Everyone thought that the Uchiha clan was destroyed by the traitor Uchiha Itachi. But who would have thought? For a moment, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at third generation, Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, with a hint of fear. Yes, the Uchiha clan is arrogant, and everyone hates them. But there are also old people and children in the Uchiha clan. Do these people deserve to die too? Obviously, he is the shadow and senior management of the village, and he shoulders the responsibility of protecting the village and the villagers. Shueyu sneered, full of sarcasm. In the end, even the defenseless old and weak were not spared. How ironic. You, the cruel and ruthless senior management of Konoha stall, are really in trouble, 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Hearing Suigetsu's taunt, everyone in Konoha felt ashamed and did not refute. Udatain Kaharu refuted loudly. The Uchiha clan is trying to stage a coup and seize power with arms. With the power of the Uchiha clan at that time, once a coup was launched, the village would fall into huge civil strife. At that time, if the enemy country takes the opportunity to invade, the village will fall into a greater crisis. Udatain Kaharu glared at Sasuke. Tell me, what could we have done in that situation? Are you just watching the Uchiha clan launch a coup and plunge the village into an abyss of destruction? Old woman, you are changing your mind. Suigetsu sneered. Uchiha is going to launch a coup, just kill the participants. Why aren't even children spared? Are children as young as 3 and 5 years old participating in the coup? Udatain Kaharu was speechless. Why don't you even let the children go? Of course, this is to eliminate the root cause and avoid future troubles. But obviously you can't say this, it's too cruel. Why let Itachi go? Sasuke glared at third generation. Why do you have to let him kill his own compatriots with his own hands? The Uchiha clan is about to launch a coup, and the village masters take action against them, and Sasuke admits it. What he can't understand is, why would you let Itachi do such a thing? It's so cruel to both Uchiha and Itachi. Itachi has been a careful child since he was a child. He discovered the teachings left by his ancestors and understood the origin of the village and ninjas. Therefore, he is not bound by his family. Third generation sighed. He has his own independent thinking about the future of ninjas and the village. Itachi, who is only 7 years old, is a boy with Hokage thinking, so I entrust everything to him. And he did a great job, single-handedly quelling the impending war. You even sneaked into Akatsuki alone, and the condition I gave you was to keep you in the village for protection. Sasuke trembled all over, with a look of sudden sadness on his face. That's true. It turns out to be like this. Everyone around was in disbelief. No one thought that the truth behind Itachi's destruction of Uchiha was actually like this. For a long time, Itachi has been regarded as a crazy and vicious traitor in everyone's hearts. But who would have thought? Itachi killed his compatriots with his own hands, actually to protect the village, and he got the order from the generation. If it hadn't been for him, it might have turned into a war and Konoha might have been destroyed. The former crazy murderer suddenly transformed into a hero who silently protected the village. Everyone has mixed feelings in their hearts: shame, sympathy, admiration, disbelief. Itachi, brother. Sasuke fell into endless sadness, with unspeakable grief in his eyes. But when he saw everyone in Konoha, this grief turned into unforgettable hatred. It's you Konoha who killed my brother, it's you who destroyed the Uchiha clan. I will kill you all. I will destroy Konoha to avenge my brother and Uchiha. Everyone was trembling and looked at Sasuke warily. Sasuke. Little Sakura was crying and shaking her head, trying to stop Sasuke. Sasuke, don't be blinded by hatred. Kakashi shouted. Those who shout for revenge all day long will not end well. Don't be controlled by hatred. Kakashi sympathizes with Itachi and the Uchiha clan. But what happened has happened and cannot be undone. But Sasuke is still alive. Kakashi did not want his former disciple to go against Konoha and embark on the path of self-destruction. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. Sasuke laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Laughing crazily and loudly. Smiling, Sasuke's laughter gradually subsided, and he shouted angrily, "Give me back Itachi, my father, and my mother, and all members of our clan, and I will give up revenge." Kakashi was silent. Everyone is dead, how can they be resurrected? Sasuke has made it clear that he will fight to the end. After a long silence, Kakashi said, "Sasuke, I don't want to do anything to you, let alone kill you. You talk like you can kill me at any time." Sasuke sneered, his face full of sarcasm. "Kakashi, don't always act like a teacher, I'm just ready to kill you." Sasuke, have you fallen to this point? Kakashi felt a little sad. As your teacher, you made a mistake, and I have the obligation to make up for it for you. Kakashi tore off his god robe. In that case, let's end it here. As an elite Jonin of Konoha, Kakashi could not just watch Sasuke destroy Konoha. But he couldn't persuade Sasuke to change his mind and give up revenge. He could only endure the grief and kill him. I don't want to say the same thing twice. Sasuke said coldly. Don't act like a teacher, you are not qualified to be my teacher. Maybe. Kakashi straightened his forehead protector, revealing the Sharingan with his left eye. Sharingan, you dirty foreign ninja, don't show off those eyes in front of me. Sasuke roared and rushed towards Kakashi, while activating the Shuriken Shadow Clone technique. Earth-style wall. Kakashi squatted down and slapped the ground with his hands, creating a wall of earth in front of him. Boom boom boom. All shurikens were instantly blocked by the earth wall. Your Sharingan is borrowed. It's quite good to be able to use it to this extent. Sasuke sneered, full of sarcasm, but can your Sharingan do this? Kakashi, let me tell you, they are both Sharingan, but there is a huge gap between them. Purple chakra rises from Sasuke's body, Susanoo's main form suddenly appears. Wearing Karadengu armor, holding a flame control sword, and wrapped in purple chakra, he is majestic and haughty. Susanoo. Kakashi's pupils shrank sharply. Susanoo. It's Susanoo. There was a commotion in the whole place. Back off. Everyone, back off. Tsunade shouted loudly. Everyone stepped back. They know how strong Susanoo is. A month ago, Naruto used Susanoo to kill Tendo Pain, making him unable to resist. Who are Susanoo's opponents? Kakashi, die. Sasuke laughed wildly, and the flame control sword in Susanoo's hand instantly turned into a bow and arrow, and shot out an arrow. Call out. The purple arrow turned into a stream of light and shot towards Kakashi, arriving in front of Kakashi in an instant. Just when Kakashi activated Kamui and was about to teleport the arrow away, a big skeleton hand suddenly appeared, grabbed the purple arrow, and crushed it. This is. Kakashi even looked away. Naruto took action. He is wrapped in purple chakra, and a purple skull like Susanoo towers above his head. Purple. Kakashi was stunned. Isn't Naruto's Susanoo green? Why did it turn purple? Naruto takes action. That's it. Naruto will definitely be able to stop Sasuke if he takes action. I was really scared to death just now. Strange. Why is Naruto's Susanoo purple? I remember it was clearly green. There was some commotion throughout the place. This is Shongrin, Suigetsu and Jugo also stared at Susanoo on Naruto with surprise in their eyes. Who is this guy? Is he also from the Uchiha tribe? How come he can use the same eye technique as Sasuke? The amount of chakra this guy has. Shonglin's eyes suddenly widened and she looked at Naruto with a hint of horror. Is this still a human being? Sasuke stared at Naruto, also looking like he had seen a ghost. You're Susanoo. The last time he fought Naruto's Susanoo was clearly green, but now it turned purple. What Sasuke couldn't accept the most was that this purple Susanoo looked exactly like his own Susanoo. Wearing shirts. Can Susanoo also wear matching shirts? 2 pillars. Naruto smiled and said, we meet again. Naruto, what's going on with your Susanoo? Sasuke stared at Naruto coldly. He is Naruto. Shonglin, Shueyu and Zongwu were shocked. Among Orochimaru's subordinates, Naruto's reputation is very famous because he personally defeated Orochimaru. In addition, the reason why the three of them pay attention to Naruto is because Sasuke often mentions Naruto. Sasuke often told them that he had 2 goals in life. One was to kill Itachi, and the other was to defeat Naruto. After saying it many times, Shonglin and the other 3 were naturally particularly curious about Naruto. They just want to know, what kind of person is Naruto, who is not even a match for Sasuke. Now that they finally met, the 3 of them were a little disappointed. Naruto looks like this. He looks ordinary. My Sasuke is more handsome. Shonglin looked at Sasuke with an infatuated look. Last time we met, your Susanoo was green. Why has it turned purple today? Sasuke asked coldly. You said this. Naruto shrugged and replied with a smile. Because I have 2 double flower tube Sharingan. What did you say? Sasuke was shocked, and then retorted, impossible. Absolutely impossible. How can one person own 2 pairs of Mangekyo? Believe it or not, it's up to you. Naruto shrugged, not intending to explain. Sasuke gritted his teeth in anger. The last time I fought with you, you defeated me with Susanoo. This time, I also have Susanoo. I want to see whose Susanoo is more powerful. Sasuke shouted, and Susanoo bent her bow and shot an arrow above her head. This time, she used Amaterasu as the arrow. Call out. The black flame arrows tore through the air and shot at Naruto like lightning, fast and hard. Naruto grabbed the arrow casually, and no matter how much Amaterasu burned, it could not hurt him at all. 2 pillars, Susanoo is not used like this. Naruto shook his head. Forget it, I'll show you the real Susanoo today, lest you think you're good again. As soon as he finished speaking, the Susanoo above Naruto expanded crazily and turned into a giant in the blink of an eye. Showing the posture of a warrior god, it exceeds the size of mountain peaks and almost blocks out the sky and sun. The armor on the back evolved into 2 wings, and he held 2 purple giant swords in his hands. The terrifying chakra swept across, making everyone breathless, with a look of horror on their faces. Is this Susanoo too? So big. It's just like a mountain. Everyone was shocked and speechless, and their eyes were completely replaced by shock, horror and disbelief. They couldn't imagine that Susanoo could be so huge. It was simply unbelievable. What a terrible chakra. Shonglin was trembling with fright and her hair stood on end. This is simply not something humans can achieve. Shueyu was even more exaggerated. His body was so scared that he was sweating profusely and shaking like chaff. He was so scared that he peed. Sasuke was stunned. He looked up at Susanoo, who was as majestic as a mountain and as majestic as a warrior god in front of him, and he had some doubts about life. In front of Naruto's Susanoo, his Susanoo is like a younger brother. No, not a younger brother at all. The gap is really huge. Complete Susanoo. 3rd generation was so shocked that his eyes nearly popped out of his head. Has Naruto obtained the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? Naruto's current posture is exactly the same as Uchiha Madara's back then. Koharu turned pale. No, he is scarier than Uchiha Madara, and he has mastered Shodai's wood style. Mitokado Homura's voice trembled. This guy is a monster. I can't imagine what consequences will be caused in the future when so much terrible power is concentrated on one person. 3rd generation is also a bit scary. Originally, the better Naruto was, the happier he was, thinking that there would be successors and the village would have an excellent manager in the future. But Naruto is too good and has mastered so many forbidden powers, which makes the third generation very uneasy. If Naruto wholeheartedly protects Konoha, it will naturally be Konoha's blessing, but if the third generation dare not even think about it. Sasuke, how about my Susanoo? Naruto smiled down at Sasuke. Sasuke was hit by doubts about life, and his mentality collapsed. You opened the Eternal Mangekyo. Yes, Eternal Mangekyo. Naruto nodded. Only the eye power of the Eternal Mangekyo can bring out the true power of Susanoo. How did you do that? Sasuke yelled. You have no relatives, no brothers and sisters, no second pair of Mangekyo for you to fuse. Sasuke suddenly thought. Naruto said that he has 2 pairs of Mangekyo which are indeed ready for fusion. Do you still need to hit the second pillar? Naruto said, looking at Sasuke. Why are you better than me every time? Sasuke's mentality was completely broken. Again and again, again and again. Every time I make rapid progress and dream of defeating you, you make greater progress than me. Why exactly? Sasuke beat his chest and roared to the sky, feeling angry, unwilling, frustrated, and desperate. Sasuke is not a particularly determined person. After a series of blows, his mentality finally collapsed. In fact, this is a common problem among all reincarnations of Indra. The mentality is extreme and it is easy to collapse. Have to say, in terms of mentality and willpower, the reincarnation of Ashura can be said to be the best of the reincarnation of Indra. Maybe you are too obsessed with revenge. Naruto sighed. Kill to pay for life, debt to pay for money, revenge itself is not wrong, I also support your revenge. But you can't make revenge your only goal. Life is short, life is impermanent, don't forget the past, people, you must learn to be kind to yourself. If all you have left in your life is revenge, what's the point of living? I remember you said, don't persuade others to do good unless they have suffered. Have you forgotten it? Sasuke yelled. You haven't experienced my pain, so stop gesticulating in front of me. So, I never stopped you from taking revenge. Naruto shrugged. But I think you have more important things than revenge. Like reviving the Uchiha clan. When I finish my revenge and destroy Konoha, I will naturally revive the Uchiha clan. Sasuke's voice was cold. That's it, I understand. Naruto nodded. I'll show you someone first. After you finish reading, you can then consider whether to destroy Konoha. Naruto said calmly. Come out and listen to the food. Shisui, what's the meaning? Everyone was puzzled. Shua, a figure appeared instantly, wearing a black robe, Anbu's exclusive animal mask, and carrying a short sword. His appearance cannot be seen clearly. Everyone looked at the person coming in unison. Sho or Zu? Naruto said to the visitor. The visitor nodded and took off the animal mask on his face, revealing a delicate and handsome face. Uchiha, Shisui. Seeing this person, third generation, Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura's expressions changed instantly, as if they had seen a ghost. Kakashi, Might Guy, Asuma, Kurenai Yuhi, Nara Shikaku and others were also shocked. Uchiha Shisui. He is alive. It's really Uchiha Shisui. Isn't he dead? What's the matter? Gee, Shisui brother. Sasuke was also shocked. He was one of the younger generation who didn't know much about water. Sasuke looked at Shisui. His eyes widened with a strange expression on his face. Shisui, you really Shisui? Third generation said excitedly. Aren't you dead? With the third generation's eyesight, one can naturally see that Shisui at this time is not an impure world reincarnation, but a real living being. Third generation found it strange. Shisui was obviously dead, so why is he alive again? What happened to him? Third Hokage-sama, it was Naruto who revived me. Shisui had a gentle and sunny smile on his face. Naruto. The third generation was stunned and looked at Naruto in disbelief. Naruto, what on earth is going on? This is more complicated to say. Naruto shrugged. To put it simply, I developed a special resurrection ninjutsu and resurrected Shisui. So simple. Everyone looked at each other. Simple. Naruto smiled. How could it be as simple as 1, 6, 3? Naruto had previously comforted Konan, saying that his reincarnation technique had hope of resurrecting Nagato. It was indeed a word of relief at the time, but Naruto also believed that this idea had great operational value. Because once successful, many people can be resurrected. So these days, Naruto sends out a large number of shadow clone to let them conduct relevant experiments. Everything failed at first, until accidentally, shadow clone caught several white Zetsu. Use white Zetsu as a sacrifice to perform impure world reincarnation. Then control white Zetsu and let white Zetsu cast his own reincarnation to resurrect the impure world reincarnation. This time, it actually worked. Naruto was so happy that he sent a large number of shadow clone to capture white Zetsu all over the world and continue the experiment. A series of tests prove, by using white Zetsu to initiate reincarnation, you can resurrect the impure world reincarnation person who was sacrificed by white Zetsu. Naruto didn't know the rationale for this, but it wasn't important, the results were the most important. This is an unprecedented miracle. Naruto has truly achieved the same feat as the Rinnegan Rinne Tensei technique. The first important person that Naruto resurrected was Uchiha Shisui. Naruto possesses Uchiha Shisui's right eye and can easily obtain Shisui's genetic material. Dirty soil first. Reincarnate yourself again. Then, Shisui comes alive. After his resurrection, Shisui has been lurking in the dark, understanding the changes in Konoha and the ninja world. Just think of it as simple. Naruto smiled lightly and did not intend to elaborate, but turned to Shisui and said, "Shisui, please advise this compatriot of yours, he is a little crazy now and wants to destroy Konoha. As Itachi's friend and a compatriot of Urzu, you have the obligation to persuade him." "I see." Shisui nodded and turned to look at Sasuke. "I didn't expect you to be so old in a blink of an eye, Sasuke." "Shisui, brother." Sasuke looked at Shisui blankly, a little incoherent. Are you really Shisui's brother?" Sasuke not only knows Shisui, but also has a good relationship with her. Shisui was 3 years old and Captain was 8 years old. Shisui was 16 when he died and Sasuke was already 8 years old. Shisui is Itachi's best friend and a member of the Konoha police force. She often visits Sasuke's house. How could Sasuke not be familiar with Shisui? "It's me." Shisui smiled slightly, and his right eye turned into 3 Tomo Sharingan, and then into Mangekyo. He only had this one eye, which Naruto got from Danzo, and the remaining left eye was in Itachi's hand. Now that Itachi is dead, his left eye is missing. Seeing this scene, Sasuke no longer has any doubts. Only the Uchiha clan can shut down Sharingan at will. Outsiders can't do it, like Kakashi. "Brother Shisui, you." Sasuke was a little incoherent. Since his family died when he was 8 years old, he was the only one left in the Uchiha clan. Now that he finally saw a familiar clan member, Sasuke was so excited that he didn't know what to say. "Don't be anxious, speak slowly." Shisui patted Sasuke on the shoulder and sighed. "You must have gone through a lot to activate Mangekyo." Sasuke's eyes turned red and his nose felt a little sore. "I have indeed experienced a lot in these years." Sasuke is a strong person and rarely shows his vulnerable side, but in front of Shisui, he couldn't stand it. He briefly recounted his experiences over the years. Finally, he stared at the 3rd generation and others. "They were the ones who killed my brother and our Uchiha clan. I want to kill them to avenge my brother, father, mother, and everyone." The senior management was indeed at fault for what happened back then, but we Uchiha also have an unshirkable responsibility. Shisui sighed. "Besides, compared to revenge, I think reviving the Uchiha clan is the most important thing." "Revival? How to talk about revival?" Sasuke smiled miserably. "How can the Uchiha clan be revived if there is no one left?" "It's up to Naruto to help." Shisui smiled and said. "Naruto promised me that as long as I follow him, he can help us resurrect our dead people." These words were no less than a thunder, shocking everyone present and dumbfounded. Everyone looked at Naruto. Resurrection of dead tribesmen. Can Naruto's method of resurrection be used to resurrect people on a large scale? If so, the meaning is completely different. Naruto can resurrect the Uchiha tribe, which means that he can also resurrect other tribesmen whose family has never had a death. For a moment, everyone looked at Naruto differently, with excitement and passion. Sasuke was stunned and said in disbelief, "Brother Shisui, you mean?" Shisui smiled slightly. "Whether Itachi, Captain Fugaku, or Aunt Makoto, they are all expected to be resurrected. Father and mother, can they all be resurrected? Sasuke murmured to himself, then became excited. Is this true? Sasuke couldn't help but look at Naruto, with a rare hint of pleading in his eyes, which he had never seen before. Be obedient from now on. If your performance satisfies me, I can consider it. Naruto smiled lightly and said, if we make trouble again, I'm not your ant snake, and I won't blindly condone you. Naruto looked deeply at Sasuke, then turned to Tsunade and said, Tsunade sister, it's time for us to set off. Naruto. Tsunade glanced at Sasuke and hesitated to speak. Sasuke's matter has not been completely resolved, so how can she leave the village and hit the road with peace of mind? If Sasuke goes crazy again after leaving, who can stop him? I'll go with you. Sasuke took a deep breath. Finally seeing the hope of resurrecting his loved ones, Sasuke naturally refused to let go of the rabbit. He wanted a clear answer from Naruto. At this moment, destroying Konoha and killing everyone in Konoha no longer mattered to Sasuke. As long as he can resurrect his relatives, he is willing to pay any price for revenge. Is that important? Whatever. Naruto shrugged. Oh well. Tsunade said nothing more. If Sasuke wants to follow, let him follow. As long as Naruto is here, he can't make waves. Afterwards, Tsunade waved goodbye to everyone and took Naruto and Kakashi on the road. Urzu followed closely behind with his eagle team. Tell me, how did this guy do it? Suigetsu stared at Naruto's back. Uchiha Shisui has been dead for a long time, why is he resurrected? Have no idea. Zongwu shook his head, but I guess it should be some kind of terrible forbidden technique. No matter how forbidden technique is used, it is impossible to bring people back to life. This is too mysterious. Suigetsu sighed. What a mysterious man, I feel even more mysterious than Orochimaru. He is strong. Xianglin looked heavy. I can sense that his chakra amount is comparable to that of a tailed beast. Xianglin, it's not that exaggerated, is it? Suigetsu and Jugo were surprised. Sasuke said, Naruto is 9 tails Jinchuriki. It's normal to have a lot of chakra in his body. Don't make a fuss about it. No, not 9 tails chakra, Xianglin said. I can sense that there are 2 kinds of chakra in his body, one is from 9 tails. The other is his own. His own chakra is also very large, no less than that of a tailed beast. What a monster, Suigetsu murmured and turned to look at Sasuke. Sasuke, what kind of person is this guy? Sasuke stared at Naruto's back for a long time before saying helplessly, he is a genius. Genius, more genius than you, Shueyu said in surprise. Sasuke stopped talking. More genius than me, there is no comparison. He was indeed dissatisfied with Naruto before. Even if he was beaten by Naruto again and again, he never gave up. But today, after seeing Naruto's complete body Susanoo, Sasuke completely lost his temper. He himself made rapid progress, and whenever Sasuke wanted to challenge Naruto, Naruto would always give him a slap in the head. Time after time, Sasuke despaired. He couldn't help but begin to wonder, could he really defeat Naruto in this life? Sasuke felt hopeless. Seeing that Sasuke remained silent, Suigetsu seemed to guess that he was shocked and changed the topic wisely. Xianglin, his surname is Uzumaki, your surname is also Uzumaki, are you both from the Uzumaki clan? Xianglin was stunned for a moment, adjusted her glasses, and said, I don't know either, it should be, right. Naruto is of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto walked side by side with Tsunade and Kakashi. Tsunade was also asking about Shisui's resurrection and was very concerned about this matter. Naruto didn't hide anything. Cheng gave a brief description, but omitted the key issues, such as the reincarnation technique, and using white zetsu as a sacrifice and spellcaster. In fact, even if Tsunade knew it, he would not be able to reproduce it. She can't reincarnate technique, can't reanimation jutsu, and can't find white zetsu. Even if white zetsu is found, there is no Sharingan to cast genjutsu. In this case, white zetsu cannot be controlled to perform reincarnation. In other words, except for Naruto, no one else in this world can use reincarnation to resurrect the dead. Neither can Grandma Chio. This is Naruto's unique method of resurrection. Even if others know the steps, they cannot copy it. Tsunade hesitated for a long time before speaking. Naruto, can you help me resurrect 2 people? As long as the deceased's genetic material can be found and extracted through impure world reincarnation summoning, it won't be a big problem. Naruto smiled. He could guess who Tsunade wanted to resurrect, none other than his younger brother Senju Nawaki and his first love Kato-dan. Resurrecting Senju Nawaki is no problem, but as for Kato-dan, Naruto has to think about it. Jiraiya has liked Tsunade for a long time, and he still likes her now. Unfortunately, Jiraiya has to chase Tsunade, which is difficult. Having said that, it is difficult to return, but there is some hope after all. Once Kato-dan is resurrected, Jiraiya is completely out of luck. After receiving Naruto's promise, Tsunade was shocked. We will resurrect them after the 5 Kage talks are over. Naruto nodded. Kakashi glanced at Naruto and had some thoughts in his mind. Should he ask Naruto for help to resurrect Lao Jie? 3 days later, everyone arrived in the Kingdom of Iron. The Kingdom of Iron is a country guarded by samurai. There are no ninjas in this country, only samurai. The group was warmly received by Mifune. After a night's rest, the meeting was officially held the next day. In the majestic conference hall, 5 shadows gathered together, and Admiral Mifune of the Iron Country presided over the meeting. Naruto and 10 other guards stood behind his shadow and were responsible for his shadow's safety. This is very necessary. The 5 major ninja villages have always been opposed to each other, and over the decades, they have accumulated countless hatreds. There is a lack of trust between each other, so it is natural to take strict precautions. Participants in this meeting include Konoha, 5th Hokage Tsunade, Naruto, Kakashi. Rock Shinobi, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, Black Soil, Terracotta. Cloud Shinobi, 4th Reikage, Darui, High. Mist Shinobi, 5th Mizukage Terumi-me, Chojuro, Green. Sand Shinobi, 4th Kage Gaara, Tamari, Konkuro. Because they have been hostile to each other for decades, when the 5 shadows meet, they taunt each other and secretly compete with each other. Fortunately, there were 3 ships mediating, and the 5 shadows quickly put aside their prejudices and the talks went smoothly. After final discussion, the 5 shadows unanimously decided to form a ninja coalition to jointly fight against the Akatsuki organization. The commander-in-chief of the coalition forces is the 4th Reikage. The purpose of the meeting was achieved. The 5 shadows all breathed a sigh of relief, and the atmosphere in the venue became relaxed. The 5 shadows chatted among themselves. After chatting for a while, Ono suddenly looked at Naruto. Princess Tsunade, you know that Akatsuki is arresting Jinchuriki everywhere, and you are running around with 9 tails Jinchuriki. As soon as these words came out, Naruto instantly became the focus of the audience. Terumi-me, Kuratsuchi, Tamari, Gaara, and everyone else looked at Naruto with strange colors in their eyes. Tsunade smiled faintly, his face full of confidence. I wish the organization would come and catch them all in one fell swoop. Princess Tsunade, it seems you are very confident. Onoki smiled faintly, looked at Naruto and said with a smile, Kid, your name is Uzumaki Naruto, right? You have been very popular in recent years. I heard that you defeated Pain, the former leader of the Akatsuki organization. Everyone looked at Naruto. Some trivial things are not worth mentioning. Naruto smiled lightly. I also heard that you not only developed 5 blood successors including Wood Style, Crystal Style, Boil Style, Lava Style, and Ice Release, but you also have Mangekyo Sharingan. Onoki said meaningfully. I wonder if it is true or not. Can you show it to everyone here? After everyone heard this, their eyes towards Naruto changed again. In the past few years, if you want to say who has the most famous reputation in the ninja world, it is undoubtedly Uzumaki Naruto. When Orochimaru attacked Konoha, Naruto suppressed Orochimaru and 3 other Kage-level players at the age of 12. In that battle, Naruto became famous. 3 years ago, Kage was captured, and Naruto defeated 3 members of the Akatsuki organization with 1 against 4, and successfully rescued Kage. In that battle, Naruto showed the world the 3 realms of blood succession, Crystal Style, Wood Style, and Boil Style, and became famous in the ninja world. Then there was Pain's invasion of Konoha a month ago, and Naruto single-handedly killed Pain's 6 paths. In this battle, Naruto not only showed off his Wood Style, but also showed the world the magical skill of Susanoo for the first time. Each of these feats has made Naruto the most popular figure in the ninja world in recent years. Rumors from the ninja world. Naruto has ninjutsu talent that is not inferior to first-generation Senju Hashirama, and he will definitely reach the heights of Senju Hashirama in the future. There will be a chance. Naruto smiled slightly. Next, our 5 major ninja villages will join forces to deal with the Akatsuki organization. We will fight side by side and have many opportunities to communicate with each other. Hopefully. Everyone nodded silently. Shua. Just at this moment, at the conference table where the 5 shadows were meeting, White Zetsu suddenly came out and shouted to everyone. Hello. White Zetsu is indeed a joke. On such a serious occasion, his hello made the atmosphere in the venue very funny. Naruto was so amused that he almost laughed. The 5 shadows were irritated and glared angrily. The other guards, except Naruto, immediately stood in front of their cage, ready to go. Don, Onoki said coldly. Your Akatsuki organization is too arrogant, and you actually run wild in a place like this. Reikage turned on the lightning-style chakra mode and glared at White Zetsu with gritted teeth. Looking at that posture, I want to eat White Zetsu alive. White Zetsu was completely frightened and shouted with a smile, Uchiha Sasuke is here. White Zetsu danced enchantingly and shouted passionately, where is it hidden? Let's all come find Sasuke. Sasuke. White Zetsu stirred up 1,000 waves with one stone, and the other 4 shadows except Tsunade instantly became energetic. Sasuke joined the Akatsuki organization and helped Akatsuki capture the 8 Tails Jinchuriki. In the eyes of the 4 shadows, this was completely against the 5 ninja villages, and this meeting was started because of this. Therefore, everyone wants to find Sasuke and use him to interrogate the whereabouts of 8 Tails and the intelligence of the Akatsuki organization. Naruto, Tsunade and Kakashi looked at each other with a hint of worry in their eyes. Team Eagle followed them to the Kingdom of Iron. They attended the 5 Shadows conference, and Team Eagle stayed at the hotel at the foot of the mountain to rest. Because of Uchiha Shisui's resurrection, Sasuke obviously showed signs of changing his mind. So Tsunade decided to hide Sasuke's whereabouts for the time being. After the meeting is over, try to persuade Sasuke to let go of his hatred and return to the village. Unexpectedly, White Zetsu discovered it first. If the other 4 cages knew Sasuke's whereabouts, things would be in complete trouble. Whoosh! Reikage jumped in front of White Zetsu, grabbed White Zetsu's neck, grabbed White Zetsu like an eagle grabbing a chicken, gritted his teeth and roared, where is Uchiha Sasuke? Answer me, where is he? If you don't answer properly, Lousy will crush you to death. Reikage looked ferocious. There's really nothing I can do about you. White Zetsu looked helpless. Then let me give you some tips. Reikage suddenly used force and crushed White Zetsu's neck, and said to Nozomi behind him, Nozomi, feel it. Okay, boss. She felt it immediately. Everyone was a little speechless. Terumi Mei couldn't help complaining. Reikage, even if you can sense Sasuke's location, there is no need to kill him. If you interrogate him properly, you might be able to get information about Akatsuki. Akatsuki members will not leak information, they are all one-minded guys. Gaara shook his head. Boss, I found it. Nozomi opened her eyes. Walk. Reikage's figure flashed out of the venue, and she and Darui followed immediately. What should we do? Onoki looked at the other 3 cages. Go and see. Gaara stood up, looked at Naruto and said, I haven't seen Sasuke for a long time, it's just a good time to meet him. Then let's go together. Everyone left the venue together and swooped down the snow-capped mountains toward the foot of the mountain. Everyone else was skiing forward, while Naruto and Onoki were flying in midair, flying down the hillside. This scene surprised Onoki. Kid, do you know how to use our rock shinobi's super light heavy rock technique? The super light heavy rock technique is not a very advanced ninjutsu, you can master it with just a little thought. Naruto laughed as he flew. Hehe. Ono Mupi is smiling but not smiling. Kuretsuchi, who would inherit the position of Tsuchikage in the future and was known as the leg shadow, couldn't help but look at Naruto twice. The ultra-light heavy rock technique is the secret of their rock shinobi, and it is impossible for outsiders to learn it. Naruto actually knows it. Also, is this guy the one who killed Brother Dilla? It doesn't look like it at all. The group of people moved very quickly and swooped down the mountain in a moment, surrounding the hotel where Sasuke was staying. Uchiha Sasuke, get out of here. Reikage looked ferocious and roared angrily. The rolling sound waves formed shock waves that spread out in circles, causing the snowflakes on the trees to fall and rustle. What a grumpy guy. Onoki couldn't help but complain. The hotel door opened, and the Eagle team rushed out. The leader, Sasuke, stared at everyone with an indifferent expression. Xianglin was frightened. Shuiyu and Zongwu looked solemn. Wang and others discovered it just now when they approached. She warned Sasuke to run away, but Sasuke didn't listen at all. Xianglin had no choice but to stay with Sasuke. Kid, let me show you the fear of anger. The movie took off his coat, turned on the lightning-style chakra mode, and had 4 wings of lightning all over his body. Shua, Reikage activates the body flicker technique, appears in front of Sasuke, raises his hand and delivers a powerful and heavy punch. Suigetsu and Jugo immediately stopped in front of Sasuke. Suigetsu's decapitating sword blocked Reikage's fist. As a result, the beheading sword was directly interrupted and broken into 2 pieces, and Sasuke and the other 3 were also blown away. My beheading knife. Shueyu's face looked aching. You, don't mind your own business. Sasuke said coldly. Shueyu was a little unhappy. We saved you anyway, how could you say such a thing? Even though you are such a person. Old man, let's take action too. Kuretsuchi was eager to try. Onoki glanced at his granddaughter and said angrily, don't get involved in Reikage's battle, people will die. Snort. The leg shadow snorted and continued to watch the battle. Hokage-sama, Kakashi hesitated to speak. Although Sasuke did a little too much, Kakashi was still a little worried about this disciple. Facing the fierce attack of Reikage and the others, and being surrounded by many shadows, Sasuke was in a very dangerous situation. Kakashi is a little worried. Sasuke won't be beaten to death, right? Just wait and see what happens. Tsunade made no comment. She understood Kakashi, but she was the Hokage after all. Standing in the Hokage's force field, not joining forces with the shadows to deal with Sasuke at this time would be the end of the world. Save Sasuke. Where to put it in Konoha? Don't worry Kakashi-sensei. Naruto was relieved. Sasuke is still a member of Akatsuki, and those people will not refuse to save him. In Naruto's perception, Obito has arrived, and in addition, there are hundreds of white Zetsu. Not only that, the surrounding air is filled with a large number of tiny spores containing chakra. This is the spore technique of white Zetsu. With such a strong lineup, it would be easy to save Sasuke. Is there anyone from Akatsuki around? Kakashi tensed up and couldn't help but look around. Not only some, but quite a few. Naruto laughed. When Gaara, Temari and Kankuro heard this, their expressions changed slightly and they became cautious. The other side. That guy is a Senshin ninja, I'll deal with him. Jugo locked onto Nozomi and decisively Sage transformed. As a result, after the Sage transformation, Jugo completely went crazy and lost control, becoming crazy and screaming to kill everyone. Stop being so arrogant in front of Lousy. Reikage flashed in front of Jugo and punched him away, leaving a hole in his stomach. Shueyu took the opportunity to teleport behind Shi and slashed at Shi. Darui waved his sword to stop him. The 2 swords collided, and Shueyu grinned and said, your sword is pretty good. Don't think that if your knife is broken, I will give you mine. Darui snorted coldly. Get one end first. Reikage defeated Jugo and then attacked Sasuke. In the lightning-style chakra mode, the movie's human body activation is extremely high, and its speed, strength, and defense have all reached an astonishing level. Sasuke was no match at all, and was quickly forced out of Susanoo by Reikage before he could barely parry. However, Susanoo failed to exert its true power in Sasuke's hands, so Sasuke had to use Amaterasu as a shield for defense. Reikage is a hot-tempered guy. He doesn't pay attention to the black flame defense at all. He raises his hand and hits a thunder level. Lateral bolt of pain broke Susanoo's bones and sent Sasuke and Susanoo flying away. Guillotine drop. Reikage jumped up and whipped Sasuke hard with another whip. This guy is so violent. He doesn't even care about his own legs and feet when he attacks. Naruto couldn't help complaining. This has always been the case with Reikage in all generations, but the 4th generation seems to be particularly irritable. Kakashi said. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Gaara used sand to block Raikage's guillotine drop. Otherwise, I don't know if Sasuke will die, but Raikage's leg will definitely be disabled. This guy is so reckless. Raikage was very dissatisfied with Gaara and asked angrily, Kage, why are you stopping me? If I don't take action, your legs will be useless. Gaara looked indifferent, then ignored Raikage, glanced at Naruto, then looked at Sasuke and said, Sasuke, you are very similar to me before. You have always walked in the dark, so even the weakest light should be able to shine into your eyes. It was before and it is now. Sasuke sneered. I have closed my eyes, my goal only exists in the darkness. I see. Gaara sighed, and tears flowed from his eyes. Rumble. The sand slowly gushes out of the gourd, forming an overwhelming wave of sand that spurts towards Sasuke. Kankuro, Temari, Darui, Tsurumime, Kuretsuchi and others all took action and attacked Sasuke together. Shigur with sand blasts. Red secret technique machine triangle. Wind style katakana middle dot daikama Itachi technique. Land done laser circus. Lava style monster melting technique. Lava style lime condensation technique. One Tsurumime is enough for Sasuke to drink a pot, let alone so many masters joining forces. After beating the master to death with random punches and bombarding him in turn, Susanoo's defense was in jeopardy. Coupled with the huge consumption of Sasuke chakra and the huge side effects of Mangekyo, Sasuke soon couldn't bear it anymore. Lord Hokage. Kakashi couldn't sit still. Hold on. Tsunade had a cold face. Kakashi-sensei, don't worry. Naruto comforted. The Akatsuki organization is short of manpower now and will not sit back and watch Sasuke be killed. By the end of the fight, Sasuke was out of breath and exhausted, and Susanoo had only a thin layer left, barely resisting. Chen escape original technique. Onoki prepares for the final touch. With the power of dust release and Sasuke's current state, once he is hit by dust release, he will definitely die. At the critical moment, White Zetsu takes action. The spores that entered everyone's bodies due to respiration exploded at this moment. The spores continued to absorb everyone's chakra, transforming into swelling matter, covering everyone. What is this? Sucking my chakra. Hateful. Belt. Tutu appeared quietly and took Sasuke into Kamui space. After doing this, Obito did not leave in a hurry, but used the Sharingan to stare at everyone indifferently. Dawn. Everyone watched Obito vigilantly, and at the same time removed the spores from his body as quickly as possible to get himself out of trouble. Don't be nervous, everyone. I'm not here to fight. I have something to tell you. Obito's tone was indifferent and his voice was dignified. After you understand, I have a question to ask you. What? Raikage asked in a deep voice. My purpose. Obito said indifferently. About Project Tsuki no Mi. Project Tsuki no Mi. Isn't Akatsuki's plan to resurrect Madara? Everyone looked at each other. According to the information given by Naruto, the purpose of the Akatsuki organization is to resurrect Ten Tails and resurrect Uchiha Madara. Eventually Madara becomes Ten Tails Jinchuriki, becoming the second sage of Six Paths. Project Tsuki no Mi, Naruto never said, therefore, no one knows about it. Now hearing Obito say that his purpose is Project Tsuki no Mi, everyone looked at Tsunade. His eyes seemed to say, Hokage, your information is wrong. Naruto, what's going on? Tsunade asked. Listen first, and then I'll explain. Naruto smiled slightly, not in a hurry to defend. Tsunade had no choice but to give up, turned to Obi and said, what is Project Tsuki no Mi? What exactly do you want to do? It must be nothing good. Raikage shouted coldly. If you want to know, just listen to my explanation. Obito smiled lightly and said slowly, I will make a decision based on your answers. It doesn't hurt to listen. Onoki Road. You say. Raikage snorted coldly. I asked White Zetsu to expose Sasuke's location. On the one hand, I wanted to use your 5 Kage's hands to train Sasuke's eye power. Obito said leisurely. On the other hand, I want to weaken you so that he can capture your 5 shadows as hostages. Now it seems, it's a bit overwhelming. Take us hostage. Onoki frowned and asked, why is this? For the smooth progress of Project Tsuki no Mi. Obito took out a chair and sat on it. I wanted to speak slowly, so I sat down first. Everyone is very dissatisfied with Obito's attitude. The 5 shadows are all standing. What do you mean by sitting down? Since I want to talk slowly, why don't we change places? It's freezing and snowy outside, it's really cold. Naruto smiled lightly and said, wood-style 4-pillar house technique. Rumble. The snow trembled violently, and a huge wooden house broke out of the ground and rose from the ground. Is this wood style? Can wood style also build a house? This ninjutsu is so convenient. Everyone looked sideways. Everyone, come on. Naruto made a pleased gesture. Tsunade did his part and entered the house first. The others looked at each other and followed in. Everyone came to the inside of the house and found that it was very spacious and divided into 2 floors. There are stairs and windows, and it is exactly the same as a newly built house except that there are no soft furnishings. Everyone couldn't help but marvel, and then under Naruto's arrangement, they all sat around the table. Can we talk now? Kage said impatiently. What the hell is Project Tsuki no Mi? Come on, don't be so annoying. I'm asking you something. Kankuro shouted dissatisfied. Everyone looked at Obito. Everything becomes one with me. Obito stretched out a finger and said slowly, become the complete body of Tongchi. As soon as this statement came out, everyone in the audience was shocked. Everyone looked at the emperor with puzzled, confused, unbelievable and incredible eyes. Onoki asked, what does it mean to combine 2 into 1 and unify everything? The Uchiha clan has a stone tablet that is passed down from generation to generation. Obito said slowly, it contains the secrets left by the Sage of 6 Paths. A secret that only Sharingan can decipher. And different pupil powers mean different contents that can be interpreted. The contents that can be interpreted by Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, and Rinnegan are increased in order. Is this what you're talking about? Naruto waved his hand and released a stone tablet, which was covered with densely packed small characters. Everyone immediately looked at the stone tablet and found that the words on it looked like ghostly symbols and were completely incomprehensible. Obito was stunned for a moment and couldn't help but said, have you been to the Uchiha clan's Nanga shrine? Dropped in to check it out. Naruto smiled lightly. You guy. Obito frowned slightly. Naruto, what is written on this? Kakashi asked immediately. Listen to his answer first. Naruto looked at Obito. I want to know if what he saw is the same as what I saw. Everyone couldn't help but nod, just in time to confirm each other's opinions and judge whether Obito was talking nonsense. Say it, Kage urged. The 5 shadows, the 10 guards, and everyone in the Eagle Squad were all staring at Obito. Because of Naruto's information, you should all know about 10 tails now, right? Obito said indifferently. Everyone nodded. Everyone didn't know it before, but because of Naruto's information, everyone knew it. 10 tails has the most terrifying chakra in the world. Obito said. Sage of 6 Paths developed the tailed beast seal system in order to save the world. Then seal 10 tails within yourself and become the world's first 10 tails Jinchuriki. In his later years, Sage of 6 Paths worried that after his death, 10 tails would riot again. So he took out the 10 tails chakra and divided it into 9 parts, which became the 9-headed tailed beast. The body of 10 tails was sent to the sky by Sage of 6 Paths and sealed, and became the moon. Konoha had announced this information before, but when they heard it again, everyone was still extremely shocked. Dividing 10 tails and creating the moon is so mysterious that it is simply not something that humans can do. You Akatsuki are collecting tailed beasts, obviously to resurrect 10 tails. What about after resurrecting 10 tails? Iron Country Admiral Mifune asked coldly. Resurrect Uchiha Madara. Make him become 10 tails Jinchuriki. Because of Naruto, everyone knew that Madara was dead, so Obito did not call himself Madara. Obito denied Mifune's statement. I resurrected 10 tails in order to make myself 10 tails Jinchuriki. What is the purpose? Shueyu couldn't help but ask. Use the power of 10 tails to strengthen my eye power. Obito said calmly. Then project my eyes onto the moon and activate a large illusion. Infinite Tsukuyomi. Then pull everyone into the illusion, and let me control everyone in the illusion, so that the whole world becomes one. A perfect world with no barriers, no frictions, no wars, and no disputes. Everything becomes one with me, everything becomes one, this is my project Tsuki no Mi. Everyone was stunned. Everyone has speculated before that after Akatsuki collected tailed beasts, resurrected 10 tails, and became 10 tails Jinchuriki, a war may be launched, the ninja village may be destroyed, and the ninja system may even be destroyed. But no one expected it. Akatsuki's purpose is to cast a large-scale illusion and draw everyone into the world of illusion. This is ridiculous. What a joke. Reikage became furious and roared angrily, I will never hand over the world to people like you. Illusory peace is just a lie. Gaara sneered. Peace only makes sense if it is achieved in reality. Living in an illusion, Tsurumi Mei said coldly. Without dreams and goals, this is simply escaping reality. Unify the world. Onoki looked at Obito. I remember Uchiha Madara said something similar a long time ago. In comparison, his unified world is at least more realistic, but your unified world is complete nonsense. A fantasy. Tsunade sneered. Actually, you 5 shadows also understand that there is no peace at all in this world, nor is there any hope. Obito said. Hope is the same existence as giving up. Hope is a lie that perfunctory the world. Obito stared at the 5 shadows indifferently. I've said what needs to be said, now it's your turn to make a choice. Either, hand over the remaining 8 tails, 9 tails, and half of 1 tail to assist my plan. Either, Obito slowly stood up, his eyes flashing coldly, the only thing we can do is start a war. War, Gaara sighed. 8 tails. Reikage was stunned. What's going on? Didn't 8 tails be captured by you? 8 tails capture failed. Obito shook his head. Killer Bee is the most perfect Jinchuriki, and he is worthy of being your brother. I knew it would be like this. Darui sighed helplessly. This idiot. Reikage was taken aback and immediately became furious. You must have taken this opportunity to run outside the village to play. Better than this fool. Unforgivable. When I see him again, I will punish him severely. Neither Shukaku nor Uzumaki Naruto will leave it to you. Gaara said coldly. If you want to fight, fight. Tsurumi Mei is not afraid. Reikage, Hokage, what about you? Onoki looked at Reikage and Tsunade. Of course I won't hand over my brother. Reikage shouted. Konoha will not hand over Naruto. Tsunade said coldly. Looks like there's nothing to talk about. Obito said slowly. I have 6.5 of the 9-tailed beasts in my hands. You have no chance. Fight to the end. Never give up. The 5 Kages were not afraid to look into Obito's eyes. Then let's fight. Obito said coldly. I declare war on you here. The 4th Ninja War begins. Wang felt a chill in his heart, and his expression became extremely solemn. The 4th Ninja War, a slightly teasing voice suddenly sounded. Masked Man, are you serious? Everyone looked at the person who spoke, it was Ming District. Naruto looked at Obito with a smile. The infinite Tsukuyomi you just mentioned was the content you got after using the Mangekyo Sharingan to decipher the stone tablet at Nanga's shrine, right? Good. Obito did not deny it. This is a little strange. Naruto clicked his tongue in surprise. Strangeness. Gaara looked at Naruto. What do you mean? Everyone else looked at Naruto in confusion. I also have Mangekyo Sharingan, and it's the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto quietly opened the eternal Mangekyo and looked at Obito in confusion. I'm a little strange, why is there a big difference between what I saw and what you just interpreted? Obito frowned. Different? What's the difference? Reikage shouted and asked. 9 Tails kid, what is the content of the stone tablet you saw? Tsurumi Mei, Gaara, Onoki and everyone else all stared at Naruto with burning eyes. Regarding Project Tsuki no Mi proposed by Obito, everyone thinks it is very ridiculous, very ridiculous. But because there is no Sharingan, everyone cannot understand the content on the stone tablet and cannot refute it. Now when Naruto said this, everyone suddenly became energetic and wanted to hear his opinion. This is about 10 tails and the origin of the 9-tailed beast, which is pretty much what the masked man said. Naruto first confirmed Obito's previous statement, and then changed the topic, but about infinite Tsukuyomi, it's the complete opposite. On the contrary, everyone looked at each other. Obito stared at Naruto. What do you mean? Infinite Tsukuyomi is indeed a large-scale illusion that can cover the whole world, allowing everyone to realize any dream in their dreams, but... Naruto stared at Obito, half smiling. Once hit by infinite Tsukuyomi, everyone's chakra will be sucked away, and finally all chakra will be merged into one. In other words, the real role of infinite Tsukuyomi is not to make everyone become one, but to merge all the scattered chakra into one. The so-called unification is chakra. And those who have their chakra sucked away will eventually become white Zetsu under the transformation of the sacred tree. What? Everyone was shocked. Suck chakra dry. Turn people into white Zetsu. What a joke. Naruto, are you telling the truth? Temari said in disbelief. Once you are hit by infinite Tsukuyomi, will the chakra really be sucked away and become white Zetsu? That's what it says on the stone tablet. Naruto shrugged. I don't know if it's true or not. Everyone couldn't help but think of the white Zetsu they had seen at the venue before, and couldn't help but shudder. It's better to die than to become that stupid thing. Naruto, you are talking nonsense. Obito was angry. Infinite Tsukuyomi is the perfect illusion to bring peace to the world and happiness to people. It can't possibly absorb a person's chakra, let alone turn a person into a white Zetsu. You're talking nonsense. Has Obito seen the stone tablet? Seen. Can you read the content on the stone tablet? He can read part of it, but only part of it. After all, his eyes are just ordinary Mangekyo. Therefore, I actually have only a partial understanding of what is written on the stone tablet. What he learned about the content of the stone tablet was all what Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu, had instilled in him. The evidence is that in the original plot, Obito did not know Otsutsuki Kagaya at all. Or after the resurrection of Otsutsuki Kagaya, Obito only knew about such a person after Naruto's explanation. Am I talking nonsense? Naruto smiled and asked, Obito, your eyes are normal Mangekyo, right? Obito said nothing. My eyes are eternity Mangekyo. Naruto said calmly. As you just said, the contents on the stone tablet, the contents that Sharingan, Mangekyo, and Rinnegan can interpret, are in increasing order. My Mangekyo is more advanced than your Mangekyo, so I have seen more than you. Do you agree with this? Obito was speechless. From the eyes, Naruto's eyes were indeed superior to his. Besides, Naruto continued, the ultimate goal of infinite Tsukuyomi is not just to return the scattered chakra. It also has a purpose, to break the seal. Unlock the seal. Everyone was startled. What seal was broken? Xianglin couldn't help but ask. Naruto, stop being so pretentious and say it quickly. Tsunade urged. Others were also staring at Naruto, including Obito. This seal contains a shocking secret, a terrifying secret. Naruto pretended to stare at the stone monument with a frightened and shocked expression. This made everyone feel scratchy and even more curious. Nine-Tails kid, can you please be happy? Stop whining like a fool. The grumpy Raikage couldn't bear it anymore. Everyone silently praised Raikage. All right, Naruto smiled and continued. The Sage of Six Paths mentioned a person in the stone tablet. Who? Kakashi asked. His mother, Otsutsuki Kagaya. Naruto said. According to Sage of Six Paths, Kagaya is not from Earth, but from outer space. TNY. Is it an alien? Why is it related to aliens again? Isn't that too ridiculous? Everyone looked at each other. This stone tablet records that Kagaya, the mother of Sage of Six Paths, came to Earth one day with the sacred tree. Naruto stroked the stone tablet as if reading aloud. Kagaya planted the sacred tree and became the guardian of the sacred tree. And the sacred tree can absorb the power of the earth and natural energy. After a long period of time. Over time, it will bear the fruit of the sacred tree. The fruit of the sacred tree contains very huge energy. Once a person eats it, he will not only gain power beyond all else, but he will also become immortal and live forever. Everyone looked at each other. Listen to what you said. The purpose of Kagaya coming to Earth to plant the sacred tree is to harvest the fruit of the sacred tree. Temari reacted quickly and immediately understood what Naruto meant. Clever. Naruto gave Temari an appreciative look. However, it takes a long time to bear the fruit of the sacred tree. And the longer time passes, the more natural energy the sacred tree absorbs, and the better the quality of the sacred tree's fruits. Kagaya gradually became bored after spending a long time in the guardian tree, so he came to the human kingdom. In the end, the love-minded Kagaya got together with a human king and gave birth to 2 children. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, Otsutsuki Hamura. One of them, Otsutsuki Hagoromo, was the founder of the famous ninja sect, Sage of Six Paths. How did Sage of Six Paths come about? Everyone looked at each other. And after, Xianglin asked. Later, the king betrayed Kage, and Kage became hateful and killed her husband out of love. Naruto said. Then he used the sacred tree to activate infinite Tsukuyomi, absorbing everyone's chakra. But Kage didn't kill everyone, but erased the memories of some people and released them again. Let these people serve as fire and multiply. It can be said that almost all humans in the ninja world are descended from Kage and these people. Then what? Temari asked. Later, Immortal Yindao and his younger brother gradually grew up. Naruto said. The brothers discovered that as the sacred tree continued to absorb, the earth gradually became barren. Sage of Six Paths realizes that if the sacred tree continues to absorb it, this planet will become dead. Sage of Six Paths and his brother decided to stop their mother. So, an earth-shattering war broke out between mother and son, sweeping the whole world. During the months-long war, the sacred tree transformed into 10 tails and helped Kage fight the Sage of Six Paths brothers. In that battle, mountain peaks collapsed, rivers were cut off, forests were destroyed, and countless humans and animals were killed and injured. Everyone held their breath and listened. Just thinking about it, they could imagine the brutality of that battle. After all, the two parties fighting were legendary entities like Ten Tails and Sage of Six Paths. I'm afraid a casual blow could be devastating. You must have guessed the result. Naruto said. In that battle, Kage lost, and she was sealed on the moon by the Sage of Six Paths brothers. And the sacred tree that turned into 10 tails was also drained of chakra by Sage of Six Paths, Wang Qianzhao, and divided into 9-tailed beasts. Kage is sealed on the moon. Everyone raised their heads in unison and looked at the moon hanging high in the sky, with incredible things in their eyes. So, it is not only the body of 10 tails that is sealed on the moon, but also the mother of Sage of Six Paths. Tsunade asked with wide eyes. Right, Naruto nodded. Kage has eaten the fruit of the sacred tree and is immortal. He can only be sealed, not killed. Naruto, you said before that the ultimate goal of infinite Tsukuyomi is to break the seal. Kakashi asked. Could it be that? The purpose of infinite Tsukuyomi is to break the seal and release Kage. Free Kage. Everyone was shocked. Even the Sage of Six Paths brothers had to fight fiercely for several months to seal Kage. If he were to be released. Just thinking about it makes my hair stand on end. This is indeed what is recorded on the stone tablet. Naruto nodded. Sage of Six Paths warned future generations on the stone tablet never to use infinite Tsukuyomi. Otherwise, once Toru Yoruichi is resurrected, the whole world will fall under her cruel rule again. And those of us will be pulled into infinite Tsukuyomi by Kage and become the nourishment of the sacred tree. Is that so? Is this the truth about infinite Tsukuyomi? Everyone looked at each other in shock, because these words were too shocking, so they were all a little skeptical. Reikage believed it. He glared at Obito and roared, "Is this what you call bringing happiness to people? You want everyone to die." Obito ignored Reikage, because he was confused at this time. In other words, his thoughts, his beliefs, the goals he always wanted to achieve, completely collapsed. Because of Lin's death, Obito completely despaired of the world, gave up on himself, and broke down. Therefore, Obito wanted to create a world with Lin. And the infinite Tsukuyomi that Madara and Black Zetsu painted for him is the only way to realize this dream. Obito puts all his hopes on infinite Tsukuyomi. But now, hope is gone. Naruto, is everything you said true? Obito's mentality collapsed. How so? How could Uzumaki Naruto know these things? In the unknown underground, Black Zetsu was completely confused. Resurrecting Mother Kage requires 2 necessary conditions. One is Rinnegan, the second is 10 tails. Black Zetsu has been planning for thousands of years and tried his best to finally let Madara open the Rinnegan before she dies of old age. All that's left now is 10 tails. The collection of tailed beasts is also coming to an end. As long as the remaining 8 tails and 9 tails are caught, the resurrection of 10 tails is just around the corner. Seeing the resurrected mother in sight, I have never been so close to her in at least 1,000 years. Result: the truth that Uzumaki Naruto learned from nowhere destroyed Obito's mentality and caused this important chess piece to lose control. After years of hard work and seeing that his efforts were about to fall short, Black Zetsu hated Naruto to death. Calm down. I have to calm down. Black Zetsu failed for thousands of years, but his ambition was far from ordinary after all, so he quickly calmed down. Obito's mentality has been shattered and he may be losing control. We can no longer put our treasure on him. The top priority is to resurrect Madara quickly and let him take charge of the overall situation, but we cannot let Madara know the truth. No, with Madara's ambition, even if he knew the truth about infinite Tsukuyomi, he wouldn't believe it. This person is self-righteous and determined. He will never be easily fooled like Obito. Compared to Uzumaki Naruto's empty words, Madara is more willing to believe in the stone tablet left by Sage of Six Paths. I have to guide Yakushi Kabuto and make him become Madara, and Obito also has to fight for it. He is an important chess piece. We can't just let him go. We have to find a way to continue to fool him. Thinking of this, Black Zetsu couldn't sit still at all, and immediately escaped into the earth and disappeared nearby. The hundreds of white Zetsu lurking around also planned to leave after seeing Obito and Black Zetsu disappear. But this time, they failed. Naruto opened up the earth with one move and dug up, bringing out all the hundreds of white Zetsu hidden underground. What do you want to do, guy? The white Zetsu were shocked and angry, glaring at Naruto. Now that you're here, don't leave. Naruto smiled slightly, activated crystal style, created 100 crystal coffins, and sealed all the white Zetsu inside. White Zetsu is not easy to find. Previously, Naruto sent a large number of shadow clones all over the world to search for them, and found a dozen of them in total. Now that we encounter hundreds of white Zetsu, how can we let them go so easily? Shua. Naruto waved his hand and put the white Zetsu into the storage space. The five shadows talks ended quickly. The conference elected the commander of the coalition forces and appointed the captains of each army. The most critical point. This meeting allowed the 5 major ninja villages to completely unite to jointly deal with the upcoming crisis. This is unprecedented and marks an important step towards peace among the 5 ninja villages from confrontation to unity. After the meeting, the 5 shadows each returned to the village to deploy and prepare for war. Naru also returned to the village with Tsunade and Kakashi. When leaving, he also took 3 people from the Eagle Squad with him. Naruto helped them out. According to the wishes of the other 4 shadows, the 3 members of the Eagle Squad were brought back to be tortured for more information about Akatsuki. Using ninja torture methods, even if Xianglin and the other 2 people did not die, they would still be skinned. Naruto came forward in time and took the initiative to stop the work for Konoha, so that the 4 shadows agreed to let him go. It's troublesome when you come here, but it's easy when you go back. Naruto activated the Flying Thunder God technique and took everyone back to Konoha and the Hokage office. Kakashi, give these 3 to Ibiki. Tsunade looked at the 3 members of the Eagle Squad and said, let Ibiki torture as much information about Akatsuki as possible. Yes, Hokage-sama. Kakashi agreed and prepared to leave. Tsunade nay, leave it to me. Naruto stood up and said, when it comes to torture of information, there is nothing more suitable than Mangekyo Sharingan. Tsunade pondered for a moment and said, okay. Thank you sister. Naruto smiled slightly and said to Xianglin and the others, come with me, don't play tricks. Naruto returned home with the 3 members of the Eagle team and built another house next door to his own house. You guys can live here from now on. Naruto looked at the 3 of them and said, don't even think about escaping. You can't escape even if I leave. As long as you don't escape or cause sabotage, I won't interfere with your actions in Konoha. Xianglin and the other 3 looked at each other in confusion. Is this the way to treat prisoners? Why doesn't it feel like this? Didn't you capture us and come back for interrogation? Xianglin pushed up his glasses with a puzzled look on his face. What are you asking about? Is the Akatsuki organization? Naruto sneered. You have only joined the Akatsuki organization for a few days. I'm afraid you don't even recognize the Akatsuki people. Xianglin was a little embarrassed. Naruto was right, it had only been a few days since their Eagle team joined Akatsuki. Moreover, after capturing 8 tails, he left without authorization and didn't know much about the Akatsuki organization at all. Since you know how much we don't know, why did you bring us back? Xianglin asked again. For the sake of all of us being members of the Uzumaki clan, I'll just help you out. Naruto shook his head. There are not many Uzumaki clan left in this world, I guess there are only 2 of us left. Xianglin was stunned. She didn't expect this to be the reason. She is indeed an Uzumaki. But since childhood, this identity has not brought her any benefits, but has brought endless misfortunes. The imprints all over the body are the best proof. This is the first time that Xianglin has been helped because of his identity as an Uzumaki clan member, and Xianglin feels a little sad. Hey, can you let us go? Suigetsu muttered. We still have to go find Sasuke. We can't stay in Konoha, brother. Don't worry, he will come back. Naruto ignored the three of them and left his home. Next, Naruto plans to practice hard. Naruto wonders if the fourth ninja war will break out and when will it break out. Naruto didn't know all this, he could only prepare for the worst and be fully prepared. Strength is the best preparation. Let's make a summary first. I have the Eternal Mangekyo, which can open the complete Susanoo. Only with this power can I be a super shadow. Plus I am the perfect Jinchuriki, and the Senkyo mode, Kurama mode plus Sage mode can also be used. Naruto has never shown the Fox mode to the public. But in fact, he has already mastered it. Naruto reached a settlement with Nine Tails early on and could use Nine Tails chakra at will. It couldn't be used perfectly before because the physical body was too weak to carry the overly strong Nine Tails chakra. It's okay now. In other words, Naruto directly bypassed Nine Tails chakra mode, forced use of Nine Tails chakra, and reached Kurama mode in one step. Kurama mode plus Sage mode is the Fairy Fox mode, which can also be called one-word mode. Fairy Fox mode plus complete body Susanoo, my current strength should be as good as peak Hashirama. The true peak of Super Shadow. It's a pity that Sage body didn't achieve great success, otherwise the Fox mode alone would be on par with Hashirama. Practice. With a thought, Naruto separated a batch of Shadow Clone. You guys find a place to practice Kurama mode, Fairy Fox mode, Majesty Susanoo. Yes, the original body. Shadow Clone activates Flying Thunder God and disappears from home. Naruto himself continued to refine Ashura Chakra. The practice passed by and it was night in a blink of an eye. Naruto stopped training, and as usual, Hinata would come to see him at this time every day. The two of them would go out to eat, go shopping, go into the woods, or watch the stars together as usual. But today, Naruto did not wait for Hinata, but instead waited for Tsunade first. Today Tsunade is a bit sloppy, with dirt all over his body, even on his face and clothes. It's like stealing a dog. Tsunade's sister, why are you here? Naruto probably guessed Tsunade's purpose. Follow me to the woods. Tsunade picked up Naruto and walked out without saying anything. Come deep into the forest. Tsunade took out 2 boxes and looked at Naruto with an uneasy look on his face. Help me resurrect these 2 people. In order to obtain the genetic material of his younger brother and first love, Tsunade had just dug a grave, which is why he was so embarrassed. Let me try. Naruto followed the procedure. In the 2 boxes given by Tsunade, there was a bone in each, which should be the little finger bone. This is normal. Senju Nawaki and Kato Dan died in the Second Ninja War and had already turned into a pile of bones. Even if the grave is dug, only bones can be found. Naruto first used the bones to sign a summoning contract with the 2 dead people, and then used White Zetsu as a sacrifice. Reanimation Jutsu. The 2 White Zetsu suddenly roared and screamed, their bodies glowed with crystal white light, and the surrounding dust quickly gathered. One of them went very smoothly and quickly gathered into a human shape, condensing into a boy with flaxen hair. Another dust gathering stopped abruptly halfway, the white light dissipated, and the dust scattered all over the ground. Clearly failed. Naruto, what's going on? Tsunade asked blankly. Failed. Naruto shook his head and said, 2 possibilities, this person's soul was either sealed before death. Either he has been turned out of the dirty land. In short, his soul is not in the pure land. CHCF. Tsunade's expression changed. Duan was not sealed before he was born, but died of injuries. Tsunade was extremely sure of this, because she personally treated Dan's injuries and watched him die. There is no possibility of the soul being sealed. In this case, there is only one possibility. Someone has already impure world reincarnation. Who is it? Tsunade clenched his fists with a very angry expression. Yakushi Kabuto, who else could it be? Naruto pouted. Why am I here? A confused voice sounded. Tsunade turned around and saw his younger brother Nawaki looking around in confusion, looking at a loss. Nawaki. Tsunade was so excited that the anger in his heart disappeared at this moment and was instantly replaced by ecstasy. Tsunade hugged Nawaki, kissed and touched her. Tears of excitement overflowed and covered Nawaki's face. Naruto was moved by this, and when Tsunade calmed down, Naruto started to resurrect Nawaki. Using illusion to control White Zetsu, forcing him to activate the reincarnation technique, Nawaki was quickly resurrected. Tsunade witnessed this scene with his own eyes. Apart from being delighted, he was also extremely shocked and called it magical. Finally, after thanking him profusely, he took his brother and left. Although he failed to resurrect his first love, he finally resurrected his younger brother, which is considered a blessing among misfortunes. In the next few days, the news of Nawaki's resurrection spread throughout Konoha like a gust of wind, making everyone aware of it. In fact, the day Shisui showed up, the upper echelons of Konoha knew that Naruto had the ability to resurrect the dead. But there was no way to verify it until Nawaki. Resurrection is now a reality. All of a sudden, many people came to the door, including Guy, Neji, Yuhi Hong, Uruka, and even Mitokado Homura and Udatane Kaharu were recruited. These people all want Naruto to help resurrect their relatives, friends, or comrades. Naruto was very annoyed and went directly to Tsunade and asked her to help solve the problem. Tsunade also had a headache. She completely understood the feeling of wanting to be reunited with her relatives, but she couldn't just resurrect anyone. Isn't that a mess? Finally, Tsunade made the decision and proposed several guidelines for resurrection. For example, those who died of old age cannot be resurrected, those who have not made a penultimate contribution to the village cannot be resurrected, and those who have been dead for more than 20 years cannot be resurrected. A series of operations immediately curbed people's desire to resurrect their loved ones. This is not over yet. Naruto also had rules. He displayed the sacrifice used to resurrect the dead, White Zetsu. If you want to resurrect your loved ones, you can capture White Zetsu yourself. As long as you capture 2 White Zetsu, he can help resurrect them for free. Otherwise, no need to discuss. Naruto doesn't mind letting everyone know that White Zetsu is needed to resurrect the dead, but it's useless to know. Throughout the resurrection process, reanimation jutsu and reanimation technique are key. Among the 2 reincarnation forbidden techniques, the self-reincarnation technique is the most important. No one knows what ninjutsu Naruto used to resurrect the dead, so it cannot be reproduced. Of course, Naruto is still willing to fulfill the wishes of some relatives and friends, such as Neji and Guy. Neji wanted to resurrect his father Hyuga Hazashi, and Hyuga Hiyashi and Hinata also approached Naruto. Naruto agreed, willing to help as long as they could find Hazashi's genetic material. Neji did not dare to neglect and immediately set off to Cloud Shinobi Village to find his father's body. Unfortunately, Hyuga Hazashi has been in pure world reincarnation for a long time. Even though Neji retrieved his father's body, he could not be successfully resurrected. Guy's wish came true. Naruto helped him resurrect the 10,000 years genin father who had turned Mist Shinobi's 7 ninja swordsmen into 3 auspicious treasures, might die. The father and son held each other's hands and cried, tears streaming down their cheeks, and then thanked Naruto profusely, wishing he could become his adoptive father on the spot. The resurrection turmoil was temporarily over. Naruto continued to practice, and a month passed in the blink of an eye. This month, Naruto gained a lot, not only drawing 3 tails, 7 tails, and 8 tails chakra. I also drew the 6 paths 10 tails coffin that seals 10 tails. Geto statue is available. Chakra, the 9-headed tailed beast, has also obtained 8 heads. 6 paths 10 tails coffin seal is also available. Now only the 9 tails chakra is left. It can be said that everything is ready, all it needs is the east wind. Although Naruto was itchy, he had no choice but to wait. Another good news. After this month of hard training, I have become more proficient in using Kurama mode, Fairy Fox mode, and power equipment Susanoo, and can maintain it for a long time. On this day, Naruto was eating at home, while Hinata was cleaning the house. These days, Hinata would deliver food to Naruto every day. She would prepare it at home and then deliver it to him. 2 meals a day, no meal missed. The 2 of them went out for dinner. Teacher Kakashi, why are you here? Naruto smiled and said, you haven't eaten yet. Sit down and eat together. Hinata, get a pair of bowls and chopsticks. Kakashi is a rare visitor. In the past month, the threshold of Naruto's family has been almost crossed. Kakashi didn't come, which made Naruto a little confused. Doesn't he want to resurrect his father? I've eaten, no need to bother. Kakashi waved his hand and said, I came to you because Lord Tsunade called you over. What happened? Naruto suppressed his smile. There's going to be a war. Kakashi sighed. Naruto's eyes narrowed, and Hinata immediately stopped moving. Over the past month, the 5 major ninja villages have been preparing for war. Although it feels like a storm is coming, the Akatsuki organization is very quiet, and the ninja world is relatively peaceful. Now, is the war finally going to begin? Hinata, you wait for me at home, I will come as soon as I go. When I arrived at the Hokage office, I found that there were quite a few people there. 3 elders of the 3rd generation and all the Jonin were all present. Tsunade announced, because of Naruto, White Zetsu has been arrested everywhere in the 5 major ninja villages recently. Everyone knows the reason. Someone discovered an astonishing number of Sun Zetsu gathered at the northern end of the peninsula where the Frost Country is located on the back of Tien Country. In addition, this place also has a large army of impure world reincarnation gathered. Therefore, we have reason to believe that this place should be the home base of the Akatsuki organization. Have you found the headquarters of the Akatsuki organization? Everyone was shocked. Instead of waiting for the enemy to come knocking, we should take the initiative and take the initiative in our hands. Tsunade said. Therefore, our 5 shadows discussed and decided through an online meeting. 3 days later, the coalition forces will gather at Cloud Shinobi Village, send troops to the Frost Kingdom, and wipe out the Akatsuki organization in one fell swoop. Tsunade held a pre-war mobilization meeting at the Hokage building and made relevant arrangements. As the order is given, the entire Konoha was like a war machine, immediately started to move, and everyone started to get busy. Naruto got home and started getting ready. If I remember correctly, in this Ninja World War, the top combat power of the Akatsuki side was all the army of Dirty Soil. Naruto also planned to filth some masters for fun, and these days he had Shadow Clone prepare a lot of genetic material. Hatake, Sarutobi, Shinosuke, Akamaiki, Uchiha Kagami, Hyuga. There are also a large number of Uchiha people, such as Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Makoto, Uchiha Yashira, etc., totaling 41 people. Dirty Soil Hatake Tsukumo and others need to dig graves because only in this way can they find genetic material. The Uchiha clan doesn't use it. Naruto has a wall of Sharingan in his hand, and with the help of Sharingan, he can create the owner of the eyes. However, after Naruto got rid of these people, he was not in a hurry to free their souls. Instead, it was put in a coffin, buried underground, and then summoned out after 3 days. If you do it now, it will cause riots. Then there's Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina. To be honest, Naruto has been quite hesitant about whether to slander Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina. It's not that Naruto hates them, but that these 2 people have special identities and are Naruto's parents. Naruto didn't know how to face them, after all, he had taken over his son's body. Forget it, you have to face it eventually. Naruto shook his head. The 4th Ninja World War can be without anyone, but Konoha F4 cannot be missing. Naruto resurrected Minato for another important reason. For the vagina inside Minato 9 tails. Up to now, Naruto has already drawn the chakra of 8-tailed beasts, and is only short of the 9 tails chakra to resurrect 10 tails. But when he drew the 9 tails chakra, Naruto himself couldn't tell. Just in case, you must prepare a copy of 9 tails chakra in advance as a backup. In this way, even if an emergency occurs, Obito and Madara become 10 tails Jinchuriki in advance and can deal with it calmly. Someone may ask, doesn't Naruto have half of 9 tails chakra in his body? This is true, but in order to resurrect 10 tails, 9 tails must first be extracted from Naruto's body and sealed into the Gedo statue. As a result, before becoming 10 tails Jinchuriki, Naruto himself died. Therefore, this half of 9 tails in the body cannot move, so it is better to resurrect Minato as a backup. He is a body made of filthy earth. Even if he draws out 9 tails, he will not die. It is a foolproof backup. Now the question is, Minato's soul is still in Shinigami's belly. To get rid of Minato, he must be rescued first. The process is more complicated. You need to wear the Shinigami mask of the Uzumaki clan to dance God tier, and the key is to make your own sacrifice. Naruto doesn't dare to do this, so let Orochimaru do it. He is the best at dealing with these gods and ghosts. Therefore, Orochimaru must be resurrected first. Boom. Naruto separated 2 shadow clone and asked them to find Anko and Jugo. Not long after, Anko and Chongo were brought, and Shonglin and Suigetsu also joined in the fun. This month, Shonglin and Naruto were neighbors every day and became very familiar with each other. Naruto, do you have a problem with me? Anko looked at Naruto confused. Now she is at the peak of her appearance, with a tender face, big waves, good skin, a slim waist, fat hips and a great figure. Sister Anko, I want to use your curse seal to resurrect Orochimaru. Naruto got straight to the point. Hearing this, Anko's face changed drastically and he said anxiously, Naruto, why did you want to resurrect Orochimaru? Anko's feelings towards Orochimaru are very complicated, with respect and fear, love and hate, very contradictory. All in all, she doesn't want to resurrect Orochimaru at all. Sister Anko, I resurrected Orochimaru to resurrect my father, Namikaze Minato. There is no other intention. After Naruto explained the reason, he reluctantly convinced Anko and agreed to resurrect him. The resurrection process was disgusting. Orochimaru came out of the snake's belly again, covered in slime. Suigetsu was most afraid of Orochimaru. When he saw Orochimaru, he was so frightened that he hid behind Jugo. Anko's face was also ugly, his eyes were evil, and he stared at the big snake warily. Hee. Iconic husky voice. I didn't expect Naruto-kun to be the one who resurrected me. What a surprise. The 4th ninja war is about to break out. How can this war be without you? Naruto smiled slightly. You should know my purpose of resurrecting you, is that okay? Orochimaru smiled confidently. You have found the right person, I am the only one in this world who can resurrect Minato. Then hurry up. Follow me to the Uzumaki clan Neiman Hall outside the village. There is something to resurrect Minato there. A group of people followed Orochimaru to the outside of the village, found the Uzumaki clan's Neiman Hall, and saw ghost masks. Orochimaru selected a Shinigami mask from them, and Naruto released 2 more white Zetsu as sacrifices. Orochimaru sang and danced, and after dancing a god tier, he successfully resurrected Namikaze Minato. Where am I? Minato was a little confused. Wasn't I sealed in Shinigami's belly? Who released me? Minato, long time no see. Orochimaru said hoarsely. I never thought that one day I would resurrect you, your fate is really magical. Orochimaru-sama, Namikaze Minato shouted, and immediately looked at Naruto, his body shook slightly and his eyes flickered. Dad, Naruto smiled, opened his arms and gave Namikaze Minato a big hug. This call of father made Naruto feel awkward, but he couldn't help it. Who allowed him to take over his son's body? Naruto. Minato hugged Naruto tightly. Minato is resurrected and Kushina is simple. Time came to the 3rd day in a blink of an eye. Naruto got up early, and the first thing he did was naturally draw a lottery, but he didn't get anything good. Naruto got dressed and walked out of the room. Minato and Kushina had already gotten up, and Kushina had even prepared breakfast. Naruto, wash up quickly and have breakfast. Kushina's face was filled with a happy smile. In the 3 days after their resurrection, Minato and Kushina lived at Naruto's house as a matter of course. Naruto felt a little awkward at first, but gradually got used to it. They were both nice people, and they cared very much about Naruto, but their enthusiasm was too much, and Naruto couldn't bear it. Fortunately, Naruto went out to practice during the day and went home to sleep at night, so they didn't spend much time together. I know. After Naruto washed up, he sat down to eat breakfast. Minato and Kushina sat beside him and smiled. They are still the bodies of impure world reincarnation. They are not completely resurrected and do not need to eat. It wasn't that Naruto wasn't willing to resurrect them. But considering the complex situation on the battlefield, Naruto decided to let them act as dirt bodies. It's safer this way. Naruto was eating breakfast when there was a knock on the door. I'll open the door. Kushina opened the door and there was a group of people standing outside. Konan, Shueyu, Xianglin, and Chongwu are all here. In addition, there is Mi Dao. Yahiko is one of the people Naruto resurrected at Konan's request, and he is also the first person to be resurrected. Yahiko's body is Tendo Pain, which has always been in Konan's hands, and it is very simple to resurrect him. Why are you here? Naruto looked at a few people confused. There's going to be a war, let's try to do something. Konan smiled and said, just think of it as making up for the mistakes we made before. Since Yahiko was resurrected, Konan has changed his previous bitter look and started to smile more. This has never been available before. After breakfast, Xianglin left the house. Naruto launched Impure World Reincarnation and summoned all the masters who came out of the dirt 3 days ago. Hatake Tsukuyomi, Sarutobi, Shinosuke, Akamiki, Uchiha Kagami. There are also Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Makoto, and Uchiha 8 replacing 41 Uchiha people. Where am I? Am I dead? The strong men were a little confused. Let me explain it to you. Minato stood out from the crowd and briefly explained the ins and outs of the matter. Only then did everyone understand the whole story, and their expressions became serious. The fourth ninja war has broken out. What should be said? My father has already said it just now, I won't repeat it, I will just say one thing. Naruto said, as long as you perform penultimately in this war, I can resurrect you for free. This resurrection is a real resurrection from the dead, not an impure world reincarnation. Including everyone from Uchiha. Naruto looked at Uchiha Fugaku and others, smiled and said, you don't have to worry that Konoha will continue to exclude you after resurrection, it doesn't exist, because. Naruto opened the Eternal Mangekyo and scanned every Uchiha clan member. I have a Sharingan too. Mangekyo Sharingan. Why does he also have Mangekyo Sharingan from our Uchiha clan? Who is he? The Uchiha clan, as a limited family following the Sharingan bloodline, values Sharingan very much. Within the Uchiha tribe, the level of Sharingan also represents status to some extent. Because almost all of Uchiha's strength lies in Sharingan. And Mangekyo Sharingan has the supreme status among the Uchiha clan. It's a pity that there are not many people who can actually drive Mangekyo. Now seeing Naruto's Mangekyo, everyone in Uchiha was very surprised and looked at Naruto in disbelief. Let me introduce you to everyone. Suigetsu volunteered to introduce him. The man in front of me is Uzumaki Naruto, the son of the 4th Hokage. At the same time, he is also the strongest person in Konoha now, and he is also Konoha's designated 6th Hokage. After staying in the village for a month, Suigetsu had already understood Naruto's status and influence in Konoha. The introduction is very informative. 4th generation son. The default 6th Hokage. So, he is not from our Uchiha clan, so why did he activate Mangekyo? Everyone in Uchiha looked at each other. Everyone, it doesn't matter who I am, what's important is that I have Sharingan, that's enough. Naruto looked at everyone in Uchiha and said, if you all have great achievements in battle, I will resurrect everyone. At the same time, after everyone is resurrected, as long as they stay safe, the village will no longer exclude the Uchiha clan. I promise this in the name of Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto led a large group of people towards the Hokage building, causing a huge sensation along the way. Please give me flowers. Then, isn't that the fourth generation project? Oh my god, it's really 4th generation. And that one, that's by that clan emblem. Are they the Uchiha clan? Everyone arrived at the Hokage building. His ninja has also arrived. Hyuga clan, Nara clan, Yamanaka clan, Akamiki clan, Inuzuka clan, Sarutobi clan. Kakashi, Might Guy, Might Die, Shisui, Asuma, Yuhihong, Ibuxi, Ebisu. Naruto arrived with a large group of people, causing another sensation, and this time the sensation was much bigger. 4th Hokage-sama. Isn't that Senior White Fang? He is also resurrected. And the Fugaku clan leader. There was some commotion among the ninjas at the scene. Kakashi rushed to his father and stared at him in disbelief. Dad, you. Kakashi, we meet again. Hatake Tsukuyomi patted his son on the shoulder. Brother. Asuma looked at Sarutobi Shinosuke and couldn't believe his eyes. Are you alive too? Asuma, You've grown so big. Sarutobi Shinosuke's eyes were a little red. Are Konohamaru and father okay? Dad. Kurenai ran to her father, Yuhi Mako, and threw herself into his arms, tears welling up in her eyes. Red. Akamaiki Dingza and Akamichi Choji stared at Akamaiki Fangfang. Isn't that dad, grandfather? Many ninjas recognized each other, and the scene was very touching. Some emotional ninjas even secretly wiped away tears. 10 minutes later, Tsunade heard the news and rushed over, followed by third generation, Homura, Kaharu, Jiraiya and Orochimaru. This war is related to the survival of the ninja world. Of course, Jiraiya is back, and the old Sannin are reunited. Third generation, Homura and Kaharu were originally very happy to see their old friends such as Uchiha Kagami, Akamaiki Kagami, etc., but when they looked at the more than 40 Uchiha clan members, their faces turned green. They finally killed the Uchiha clan, but now they are all alive, and they are all elites. Isn't this just a slap in the face? But they couldn't blame Naruto. With Naruto's temperament, if they dare to fight Naruto more, Danzo will be their role model. Tsunade returned to the rooftop of the Hokage building, gave a brief pre-war mobilization, and issued the order to set off. For a time, Konoha's nearly 20,000 ninjas formed a mighty army and set off towards Cloud Shinobi Village. Naruto stepped on the Earth Dragon and flew in midair. Next to him stood Hinata, and behind him stood Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, Kakashi, and Tsunade. Tsunade looked at the Uchiha tribesmen from time to time and said worriedly, Naruto, you have defiled so many Uchiha tribesmen, aren't you afraid that they will defect and cause trouble? Don't be afraid. Naruto smiled slightly. They are all filthy bodies, completely under my control. More, although the Uchiha people are unruly, they are not willing to betray the coalition and join the Akatsuki organization. Makes sense. Tsunade nodded. After 2 days of trekking, the army arrived at Cloud Shinobi Village. The ninjas from Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, and Mist Shinobi have also arrived. A total of 80,000 ninjas from the 5 major ninja villages gathered together and then set up camp to rest and recuperate. Tsunade took Jiraiya, Kakashi and Naruto to Raikage's office to hold a pre-war meeting. After a day of deliberations and arrangements, the top-to-bottom composition structure of the coalition forces was formally defined. From top to bottom they are: Leadership Corps, 5 Shadows, Supreme Commander, Raikage I, General Staff Officer, Hokage Tsunade, Captain, Kage Point Gaara, Staff Force, responsible for planning, Acting Advisor, Nara Shikaku, Mabui, Intelligence Unit, responsible for delivering intelligence, Daimyo Guards, protect the Daimyo, Captain, Mizukage Terumi Mei. The first unit, the Mid-Distance Coalition Detachment, ninjas who are good at darkness and weapons, Captain, Darui. The second unit, the Melee Combined Force Unit, responsible for killing large numbers of enemies and fighting on the front line, Captain, Lois. The third force, Combat Close and Medium Range Joint Force Detachment, responsible for protracted warfare, Captain, Hitaki Kakashi. Sensing Troops, responsible for sensing the enemy's position. So, you guys discussed it over and over again. Everyone has tasks, but I'm the only one left behind. Naruto looked at the 5 shadows and said speechlessly. Naruto had been preparing for this battle for a long time. The result, that's it. Naruto, you have to understand the purpose of this war. Gaara advised. One is to destroy Akatsuki, and the other is to protect you and Killer Bee. As long as 8 Tails and 9 Tails are still in our hands, we have one half of this war. Good, Onoki also said. Next, we will transfer you and Killer Bee to Tsunoshima. You and Killer Bee can just stay at Turtle Island and wait for the end of the 4th Ninja War. When the Ninja World War is over, you will naturally be released. This is not house arrest, but protection. Naruto suddenly felt helpless, looked at Tsunade and said, Sister Tsunade, do you mean this too? Tsunade remained silent, as she actually disagreed with this. Tsunade clearly knows how strong Naruto is. It is such a waste to hide such a top combat power as a decoration. But the 4 shadows all agreed to do this, and Tsunade had no choice. The minority had to obey the majority. Naruto, just stay calm. Tsunade sighed. Killer Bee is the perfect Jinchuriki, you can learn from him how to control 9 Tails. Okay, Since you all said so, let's do what you want first. Naruto waved his hand, but I have to remind you. The enemy's high-end combat power is beyond your imagination. The coalition forces alone cannot stop it. How do you say this? Tsunade immediately frowned. The four Kages also looked at Naruto. Don't build up other people's ambitions and destroy your own prestige. Raikage was very unhappy and said, our 5 major ninja villages, plus the Iron Country samurai, have a total of 80,000 coalition troops. With such tyrannical power, even Shao is nothing more than a mantis using its arms as a chariot and a worm shaking a tree. Our coalition forces will definitely be able to sweep through the Akatsuki organization and end this war. Master Raikage, you think too simply. Naruto sneered. 970, the enemy's high-end combat power this time is almost all Luotian Tenya. Including first generation, second Hokage, second Tsuchikage, second Mizukage, third Raikage, fourth Kazekage. Member of the original Akatsuki organization, and former Jinchuriki. In addition to these, almost all the famous masters in the history of the ninja world are in the opponent's camp. By the way, Uchiha Madara is probably here too. Faced with such a tyrannical force, I would like to ask Mr. Raikage, how can the coalition forces contend? Every time Naruto mentioned someone, the 5 shadows' expressions became darker. When Naruto finished speaking, the 5 shadows were completely quiet. Leaving aside others, first Hokage and Uchiha Madara alone make people change their minds. Another point, Naruto continued. The army of dirty soil has immortality and cannot be killed, it can only be sealed. Plus it has infinite chakra, knows no fatigue, and is a pure fighting machine. On the other hand, the ninja coalition is made of flesh and blood. How can it compete with the army of dirty soil? The 5 shadows were completely silent. Gaara asked expressionlessly, Naruto, is what you said true? There will be no lies. Naruto sighed. This month, I'm sending Shadow Clone to dig up graves and rob them everywhere. The purpose is to collect the genetic material of powerful people and create a group of masters for us. As you can see, I only produced White Fang, Shinosuke, Fugaku and a few dozen others. It's not that I don't want to summon the others, it's because they have already been summoned and cannot come out. The 5 shadows looked at each other, feeling very heavy in their hearts. After Naruto's review, the opponent's high-end combat power was indeed a bit outrageous, even a bit scary. Naruto, is there any way to deal with this? Tsunade asked. Take a step and see what happens. Naruto shook his head. If the opponent is too strong and the coalition forces can't resist it, we will have to take action. Otherwise, once the coalition forces are completely wiped out, even if you protect me in 8 tails, it will be meaningless. The 5 shadows nodded silently. Indeed, the purpose of protecting 8 tails and 9 tails is to prevent the opponent from resurrecting 10 tails and activating infinite Tsukuyomi. In the final analysis, it is to protect the ninja world. Once the coalition forces are completely wiped out, what's the point of protecting 9 tails and 10 tails? In this case, it is better to take action together and fight to the death with the enemy, maybe there is hope of victory. Then it's decided. Raikage punched the table and gritted his teeth and said, the coalition forces will rest for a day and all will be dispatched tomorrow to attack the northern end of the Frost Country Peninsula, the home base of the Akatsuki organization. That night, the coalition forces set up camp in Cloud Shinobi Village, adjusted and rested, and looked for their own team. Night. The stars are like a brocade and the lights are brightly lit. Countless tents stood among the mountains, and piles of bonfires emitted light, dispelling the darkness. Naruto, Minato, Kushina, Hinata, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and other Konoha heroes were sitting around the fire. Everyone was silent, and the fear of war made everyone very stressed. Hinata clung to Naruto and kept holding Naruto's hand with her little hand. It was obvious that she was very nervous. Do not be afraid, Naruto said with relief. I will send a wood clone to protect you, enough to keep you safe. Aha, Hinata nodded heavily. In fact, according to Naruto's wishes, Hinata can stay by his side and there is no need to fight with the enemy. But Hinata disagrees. She also wants to fight the enemy and contribute her own strength. Since she wanted to insist, Naruto could just follow her wishes and send a shadow clone to do the protection work. Naruto, we should go. Shikamaru and other Konoha heroes came to Naruto. it's very late, we have to return to our troops. The Xiaoqiang are all assigned to different teams. Shikamaru is the acting captain of the 4th unit, and Choji is also assigned to the 4th unit. Tiantian was assigned to the 1st unit, Neji and Hinata were assigned to the 2nd unit, and Xiaoli was assigned to the 3rd unit. Shino, Ino, and Kiba were assigned to the 5th unit. Little Sakura was assigned to the medical logistics unit and also belonged to the 1st unit. Naruto, you have always been ahead of us, and you have stolen all the limelight. This time it is finally our turn to show off. Ya chuckled and said, just stay at home peacefully and wait for the news of our guy's return. Naruto, you have always protected us all before, it is our turn to protect you this time. Shino said expressionlessly. Naruto was a little moved and said with a smile, everyone is on the battlefield, remember to protect yourselves. I hope that after the war is over, all of us Konoha 12 will be safe and sound. Everyone will get together again then, and I'll treat you all to a big dinner. That's what you said. You will definitely be poor. That *SA deal. Everyone said goodbye and left. The army will set off tomorrow, and they have to return to the army tonight. Hinata was the last to leave. She hugged Naruto tightly and pressed her head against Naruto's arms, wishing she could fit into Naruto's body. Brother, I really don't want to be separated from you. Hinata murmured. I just want to hold you like this, keep holding you, and never separate in this life. Will do. Naruto stroked the beauty's hair and comforted her. When the war is over and peace is restored in the ninja world, we will have plenty of time to stay together. Just don't bother me. Will not. Hinata raised her head and looked at Naruto. As long as I can be with your brother, even for the rest of my life, I won't be bored. Both of them couldn't bear to leave each other. They were tired of being together and talked a lot about love, as if there was no one around. Minato, Kushina, and Jiraiya watched silently, with anti-smiles on their faces. Kushina happily nestled in Minato's arms. We, Naruto, are really capable. We actually managed to catch the eldest lady of the Hyuga family. She deserves to be my son. Naruto is an excellent boy. Minato's face was filled with pride. The Hyuga family is not an ordinary family. In order to protect the boundaries of the Byakugan blood lineage, intermarriage with outsiders is strictly prohibited. Even if you get married, you are marrying into Hyuga, or marrying into Hyuga. Not only will your surname be changed to Hyuga, but the children you will have will also be surnamed Hyuga. As the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, Hinata will inherit the Hyuga clan in the future, so it is theoretically impossible to marry outside. Naruto did it, and the Hyuga clan not only did not object, but collectively agreed. So capable. I'm so jealous when I see your family in pairs. Jiraiya laughed and said, it seems that I have to find a girl to get married and have children, so that I can have my own family. Kushina joked. Teacher Jiraiya, Master Tsunade has been single, you can find her. Mentioning Tsunade, Jiraiya suddenly felt helpless. Let's forget it, she has always looked down on me. It's not because you don't have a decent personality. Kushina pouted. If you can get rid of those bad habits, how can Master Tsunade dislike you? Jiraiya smiled. Pervy sage, if you still want to pursue Sister Tsunade, I advise you to do it now. Naruto came over and sat down around the campfire. Hinata had just been sent away by him. When the Ninja World War is over, Kato-dan may be resurrected. By then, you will have no chance. Jiraiya was startled, then realized, Tsunade asked you to resurrect Kato-dan. Naruto hummed, but because Kato-dan was in pure world reincarnation long ago, it didn't succeed. However, if the war ends and the coalition forces defeat the enemy, Kato-dan will be able to escape. Naruto shook his head and did not continue, but the meaning was already obvious. Kato-dan escapes from trouble and Tsunade revives him again. Kato-dan is really alive by then. Jiraiya was silent, struggling in his heart. Minato and Kushina looked at Jiraiya, speechless. For a long time, Jiraiya laughed at himself. Let's forget it, Tsunade has always loved Dan. I am in Tsunade's heart, that is, my friend leaves home. That's not necessarily the case. Naruto encouraged. Go and confess your love to Tsunade-san now, I guarantee you will succeed. Why? Jiraiya wondered. Don't ask, you'll know when you go there. Naruto couldn't help but said irritatingly. you're so majestic, pervy sage, don't you even dare to confess your feelings. If you don't dare, don't call yourself Toad Sage in front of me in the future. I'm embarrassed. Who wouldn't dare? Little kid, just wait. Jiraiya became a little angry and left angrily. Naruto, is it really useful for you to provoke the teacher like this? Minato couldn't help but ask. Just wait and see. Naruto smiled confidently. After that night, Jiraiya didn't come back until the next morning, with a red face. Is this what you wanted? Minato and Kushina were greatly surprised, and quickly asked Jiraiya and got the exact answer. Not only did Tsunade not reject Jiraiya, the two slept together that night and had a romantic night. Naruto, how do you know that Tsunade-sama will agree with Jiraiya-sensei's confession? Minato asked in surprise. Tsunade-sama didn't love Dan deeply, how could he accept Mr. Jiraiya? Dad, Sister Tsunade is 55 this year, and Pervy Sage has been with her for 50 years. Naruto sighed. And it's been 30 years since he died. How long has he been with Tsunade? First love is indeed unforgettable and will never be forgotten in a lifetime, but being unable to forget does not mean that you have not let go. In fact, for Tsunade now, Jiraiya is the most important person in her heart. In Infinite Tsukuyomi's dream, Tsunade kept calling Jiraiya's name, which is the best proof. You know, the function of Infinite Tsukuyomi is to present people's deepest desires in the form of dreams. Tsunade keeps calling Jiraiya's name, which proves the importance of Jiraiya in her heart. It's just that Jiraiya has never been upright, and he often peeps and collects information. How can a person with Tsunade's status stand it? It's different now. The Fourth Ninja War broke out, and it was unknown whether they could survive. Everyone was under great psychological pressure. Tsunade is no exception. Girls are emotional creatures. The more fragile they are psychologically, the more they need the company of their lover. Jiraiya confesses his love at this time. Unless Tsunade really doesn't love Jiraiya, it is impossible to refuse. This is indeed the case. Tsunade not only agreed, but also handed himself over to Jiraiya before the war. Maybe I don't want to leave any regrets for myself. After breakfast, the coalition forces assembled in front of the Reikage building. 5 square formations, a total of 80,000 ninja troops, were arranged neatly, and the scene was extremely spectacular. The 5 captains Gaara, Kakashi, Darui, Huang-Tu, and Mifune appeared on the rooftop of the building. Gaara issued a pre-war mobilization, which not only eliminated the barriers between the coalition forces, but also boosted the morale of the coalition forces. Afterwards, the 5 troops immediately set off with full enthusiasm and headed for their respective battlefields. The 5 shadows stay in the Reikage building, dispatching from the center, issuing orders, and responsible for remotely commanding the battle. Naruto and Killer Bee, along with Minato, Kushina and Jiraiya, were also staying at the Reikage building. In fact, according to the 5 Kage's ideas, they want to send Naruto, Killer Bee and Minato to Turtle Island for protection. Minato also has 9 tails in his body, and is also a target of protection. Kushina and Jiraiya serve as members of the protection team, responsible for protecting Naruto, Killer Bee and Minato. Naruto refused to go to Turtle Island. His reason is simple. No matter how safe Turtle Island is, how safe can the headquarters be? He wants to stay here and be ready to participate in the war at any time. Wang thought so and agreed. Time passed by, and news from the battlefield was transmitted back to the headquarters like snowflakes. The coalition's surprise attack force encountered the Dirty Land's surprise attack force. After fierce battles, the coalition's surprise attack force won. The coalition's second force encountered the White Zetsu force. After a fierce battle, the White Zetsu force was completely annihilated. What's interesting is that when everyone sees White Zetsu, instead of being afraid, they look like hungry wolves. It was as if what he saw was not the enemy, but gold, each one fighting desperately. The White Zetsu troops were quickly defeated, completely annihilated, and then sealed and packed away. The third unit of the coalition encountered the 7 original ninja swordsmen and the blood successor ninjas, and narrowly defeated them after a fierce battle. The most difficult part is the coalition's 4th force. Encounter the 2nd Tsuchikage, 2nd Mizukage, 3rd Reikage, and 4th Kage. There are not many enemies, but they are all ridiculously strong. The 4 shadows ran rampant, causing huge damage to the 4th unit, and the coalition forces suffered heavy casualties for a while. The 5 shadows couldn't sit still, especially Onoki and Reikage. They knew very well how powerful the original 4 shadows were, and no one could defeat them except them. I'd better go. Naruto took the initiative to ask for help. You are the leaders of the coalition forces. You are in charge of the headquarters. It is your task to coordinate from the center. It's best to be responsible for supporting me. I have the Flying Thunder God technique and can rush to the battlefield as soon as possible. Even if I encounter an invincible enemy, I can escape immediately. The enemy can't catch me. The 5 shadows refused, especially Reikage's words were extremely fierce, and they were determined not to allow Naruto to leave. Finally, he even said harsh words. Unless Naruto can defeat him, he would rather kill Naruto than allow Naruto to leave. Then let's fight. Naruto smiled lightly. I'll wait for you outside. With that said, Naruto disappeared into the office. This fool. Reikage was furious, smashed a hole in the wall, and rushed out of the office like a bull. Doesn't this grumpy guy usually never leave the house? Onoki shook his head. Let's go out and have a look too. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.